This is it. Text CLASS to 26022 to reserve your free seat. That's CLASS to 26022. But hurry, seats are limited. Text CLASS to 26022.
Quitting tobacco is hard, but it's also hard to deal with a cough that won't go away and thinking it's lung cancer, or feeling your heart race after a walk and wondering if it's a heart attack, or telling your family you may not be around to see your next birthday.
Quitting tobacco is hard, but the consequences are even harder. Tobacco-Free Florida has free resources to help you stay smoke-free. You may be eligible to receive free nicotine patches, gum, or lozenges. Call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW or visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Hey, Russ Rollins here. You've heard me talk about Life Imaging FLA, but you haven't taken advantage of it yet. Why not? I had a listener just this week. His wife made him go, right? Because they heard it on the radio. She made him go. They went to Life Imaging FLA, found out he had blockage in his heart. He didn't think he had a problem. Had to go to the hospital the next day, and it absolutely saved his life. He sent me a long email thanking me for it. He should be thanking his wife for making him go, but you should do it, man. Pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, say the words free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text message from iHeartMedia. There are a few minimum requirements, but this is definitely worth it. You know, early detection of heart disease and cancer is a game changer when it comes to treatment and outcome. I've learned that firsthand with my sister. She found out she had cancer way too late. She always said, man, get in and get a scan. Get a scan when you can from Life Imaging FLA. Pick up your cell phone, dial pound 250, say the words free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. You won't be sorry. Life Imaging FLA.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Of course, fun in the sun is one of the first things you think about when living in Florida, but there is a price to living in paradise, and it's called the Atlantic hurricane season. No worries, though, because new windows and doors from Renewal by Andersen can help protect your home. Renewal by Andersen's Acclaim impact windows and doors are engineered to withstand high-velocity impacts, meaning these windows and doors provide enhanced protection against flying debris during storms, keeping your home safe and secure. Here's what Dawn has to say. 6 stars. We are so surprised at how beautiful our new picture windows and steel front door turned out to be. Renewal by Andersen's 30th anniversary sale is going on now. Buy one, get one, 30% off windows or patio doors, plus 0 down, 0 payments, and 0% interest for 12 months. Call Renewal by Andersen today for your free design consultation. It's simple. Dial pound 250 from your cell phone. That's pound 250. Say the keyword best windows and be connected in seconds. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto dial text message from iHeartMedia. Official partner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. License number CGC 1527613.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Accidents happen, but Mo's here to help. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or call 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando, an iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Someone's going to get offended. It's just the way the world works. So to hopefully save everyone a little time and or energy, here's this. The opinions that you hear are those of the host and callers, and not those of iHeartMedia, its management, or advertisers.
The News Junkie is on.
The 3 best friends you never knew you had, running through the most viral stories of the day.
The News Junkie Sean Wasson with Sabrina and C-Lane.
It is Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. Lots to get to today from World War III Los Angeles. Angeles to Dr. Phil is embedded with ice for some reason.
Oh, no.
And would you have a baby right now for $1,000 in Trump bucks? Plus your calls, dispatches, emails, texts, and more. Hey there, Sabrina.
Hello.
Hello, Josh.
Hello.
C-Lane's in jury duty. We'll talk about that in a moment. You can join us on the show today. All you have to do is send us a dispatch. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. Hit record on your first dispatch today. You can also watch the show on YouTube and twitch.tv/thenewsjunkie. Your message is rolling right to the studio in real time. How's everybody doing on a Tuesday?
Oh, feeling good, feeling great. It's
Hang on. I
sharing time.
That's right. It's a Share the Show Tuesday. Sorry, I'm doing 7 things at
It's all
one
right.
time
I'll
right
explain.
now.
All you need to do is share the show, hence the name of it. So, like it, grab the link, whether it's the Twitch stream, maybe YouTube, or if you're listening on iHeartRadio, send over that link.
Boom.
Or just tell people that have radios what to hit on the dial.
Tune to the station.
If you love
Either
us,
one.
then you will do it for us.
On
And
a
if you don't do it,
share
yeah.
the show Tuesday. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. We got everybody full screen now. Now, we just learned at some point yesterday, C-Lane's like, oh, they called me up. They drafted me for jury duty. Gotta be there. He was on a meeting that we had this morning. We had this big meeting, a bunch of people, and C-Lane, he's in jury duty, but he can't talk, so he's only in the chat room of the meeting, and he's like trying to pipe up in the chat room.
And then it seemed like every couple moments when no one was around him, he'd be like, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah. What if we did this? Alternatively, what if this happened? And then afterwards he's like, can we keep going with the call, because I'm just in a boring room full of people. There's not a lot going on in this world, unfortunately. So
Let's place our bets. You think he's going to be called or denied?
You know what's funny is sometimes the real world runs into the radio, and Courtney's like, well, clearly he's got to say something offensive to get himself kicked off of the potential juries. And I was like, well, I don't think he's really going to do that. I don't think C-Lane would do it. I don't think he has it in him. I think instead he would be like, I'm going to try to be a dutiful juror. And he would love more than anything to be able to say he was jury foreman twice to Sabrina's once. I think that would be like,
dare you?
That's what he would really be going for if he could.
I would be very jealous.
But Josh, thanks for hanging out with us today. And
You're welcome.
Doing the things and all the things that we got in front of us today here. So let's tackle it. Let's put our ears to the ground, our fingers on the pulse. Let's see what's happening in this great big wide world of ours. And we go to the Breaking Bad house. One of my favorite things, truly. The lady who lives in the Breaking Bad house, which Walter White lived in, obviously, on the television show from AMC, Breaking
He's the
Bad.
one who knocks, I believe.
He is, yes, allegedly. And my favorite part about this is the lady that lives at this house that everybody wants to visit who's a fan of Breaking Bad. And not only that, everybody wants to go to the Breaking Bad house and like throw the pizza up on the roof like Walt did. They want to do all the annoying things.
And for over a decade, she has been complaining about it.
She hates it.
But I have to say, we have only read about it, and we've seen like someone has taken a picture from the road.
From their side, from like the visitors, yeah.
The first insight in which she allowed a, I don't know, is it a documentary? Was it Vice?
It was somebody from the New York Post, I think.
And they were allowed in the front yard, and she just kind of showed POV style how she handles all the fans.
Also, she could just go inside, but no. So
I think she loves it.
Let me give you the lay of the land. It's the house from Breaking Bad, obviously. Outside on the curb, she has all sorts of like construction signs blocking off the property. On the other side of the construction signs, she has road cones lining her entire property. On the other side of the road cones, she has flags on a string blocking the entire property. On the other side of that, she has a fence built on the entire front of the property with little spikes on top of it.
And yet people show up.
Yeah,
all
and
the time.
she hates them. So let's listen in. Here we go. All right, there's people showing up, young kids.
Joanne.
She's spraying them with a hose.
Have you seen anything else but Breaking Bad stuff since you've been here? You can take a picture from that corner. Do not get close. And no tripod, no nothing.
No tripod.
One picture, then you go.
She said, one picture, then you go. I gotta say, is there something about her that secretly likes this?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why is she sitting out in her front yard? Like, why are you sitting out there?
Loves it.
Yeah, I think she kind of feels like she's a little famous in the middle of this, but also wants to be complaining. Because
now she has a character to portray, and that is the curmudgeon. But that is not aware of public and the laws surrounding your right to privacy.
Yeah,
when you're outside.
But she's out there mingling with these people. Clearly, she's getting something out of this, and she's sitting on her fake grass. So sorry, fake grass call out. I apologize.
What are you talking about? Go back.
That is some Astro turf right there. That is
turfy.
Well, she's in New Mexico, so
yeah, it's a little hot there, so the grass is a bit hard to grow. But amongst the rocks, there's some AstroTurf, and she's yelling at the young kids who are showing up to take Breaking Bad pictures. She's spraying them with the hose.
You stay across the street, dude.
Stay across the street, dude.
Back up, cowboy.
Hey, here's your
Back up,
No.
cowboy.
Here's your hose.
Across the street. You don't get near my house.
Mind if I get a picture? I'm a fan of the show. I was just wondering.
I'm a fan of the show. I was wondering if I could take a picture.
Everybody, the whole world's a fan. Doesn't impress me.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Everybody's a fan. I'm not impressed. I don't care. All right, get out of here,
You
loser.
think you're Vince Gilligan's #1 fan? Because you're not.
Does it say, or maybe we can all go to the Googles. Did she own the house during production, or she bought the house post-production?
I don't remember.
She must have gotten a fat check for that.
I feel like she might have bought it afterwards, but I do not remember. Remember, it's been a while now since Breaking Bad has been on the air. And like this lady's like, big deal, everybody's a fan. I know you want to take a picture.
Watch out, cowboy.
It's her family home from 1973, so she's owned it for like 50 years.
Okay, so then she, to Sabrina's point, she fully knew what she was getting into, signing up for a deal to film a show.
I mean,
at
did
her
she know
house.
it was going to be this popular?
No, but look how it's gone to her head. Breaking Bad house lady is like, everybody's a fan. Move on, bitch.
But
Next.
You could utilize it. You could just have some sort of entrance fee, and they could take a picture like right next to the door, or with this fake pizza.
Yeah, like move somewhere else, live in another house, and then like stage this one up.
Why not?
Toss the pizza on the roof for $35, and people would just line up for this crap. Marla on YouTube says she effing posts up to roast people. Definitely.
I'm
The lady,
subscribed. Count me in.
She's sitting there because she's waiting all day for people to pull up, and then she wants to like interact with them. Like she works at Wiener Circle in Chicago, and she's roasting the people ordering hot dogs. It's like, it's a really bizarre thing, but I don't know. I kind of like it.
Okay, just stay on the sidewalk, take your picture, and then you can go.
All right, move along, please. And she's just sitting there in that front yard on the chair, rocking that Breaking Bad house. What do you think of this lady? Let us know. Yeah, there she is. All right, tell us what you think about this and everything else happening in the world today. Of course, you can join us with your dispatches. Go to thenewsjunkie.com. That's the website. Of course, we have all this stuff breaking out in Los Angeles still, and it looks like kind of, I don't want to say spreading too much, but there were some other cities last night, specifically in California. I think it was Santa Ana, California. There was a bunch more
we got
people
stuff
on
in
the streets.
Boston now, I hear, and New York.
Yeah, some smaller still stuff, not as big as it was the first handful of nights, and specifically the third night in LA, these anti-ICE protests. But some of the stuff was wild to see yesterday. There were people driving up, like some dude drives up in a truck, and he had gone to whatever store, and he had purchased all of the stuff you could use as riot gear, like all the face shields
Is that over
and
at
like
7-Eleven these days?
masks, maybe, with all this going on. They're like, let's make some money. All of this stuff. And this guy fills his truck up with all this riot gear and then drives into the middle of the crowd like some sort of Riot Willy Wonka or something, giving out all of the things to all the people who are at this protest/riot in Los Angeles. So it was kind of interesting to see that spread on that level and then spread to some other cities yesterday. And we'll get to that. But I want to ask a different question first. The question I want to ask first is, it's not even a proposal or anything. Like, this is just like the real deal.
The answer is yes.
Every person, and I checked in on Sealand on this. I was like, damn, kind of missed the boat a little bit on Jackson. Jackson's too young, but every newborn born after 2024 is going to get $1,000 in a stock account from the Trump administration.
Lucky.
$1,000 to start you off.
Are we having an issue with babies?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. We actually are. Us and a lot of other, mostly European countries and Japan. Oh, Jesus. What was I think? I wasn't even prepared for this. Also, Japan was facing some of these like birth rate numbers and stuff. And so they're trying to think of creative ways. But this is the baby billionaire plan, which I kind of...
That's a rich baby. Richest baby alive.
All right, Josh, can we do this? Well, hold on. I'm going to be able to ask TNJAI about this. Maybe this way. All right. If a baby has $1,000 invested in the stock market when they are born, how much money could they have by the time they are 18 years old or 50 years old? Let's throw a little curve there to see, like, if they just, they really saved it all the way, if they were like patient and waited all the way to 50, what kind of money would they make if they did that?
Assuming an average annual return of 7%, a $1,000 investment could grow to about $4,000 by age 18 and over $29,000 by age 50.
29
Investing
grand
early really pays off.
That's not bad. 29 grand by age 50 for nothing. You don't like, so you do nothing. You don't touch it. By the time you're 50, you have 29 grand. But the problem is when you turn 18, how attractive is that $4,000?
I'll tell you what, I had the bonds that we didn't have access to until we were 18. Ooh, wait.
Right away? Did you do it?
So quick.
Yeah.
So quick. But,
yeah.
I mean, it was an investment. I did use it to... Nope, didn't even use it for a car. Got the car when we started the show.
Here's the problem.
I don't know where it went.
It went somewhere.
When you're 18 years old and you're broke, which we've all been, right? You're 18 years old, you're full on broke. If somebody says to you, hey, you can either have $4,000 right now, or you can wait until you're 50 years old and we'll give you $29,000. Almost all the 18-year-olds are going to be like, give me the money. I'll take the $4,000 right now.
I got to buy some weed, man.
I'm not going to wait until I'm 50. How do I even know if I'm going to make it that long? Most people will say. But it's the real deal. Now, the question I want to throw out to a lot of you, including you dispatchers today, is would you do it? Would it make you more likely to have a child if you knew you get $1,000 in a stock account backed by a Wall Street index? Every single baby born this year and after is going to get $1,000 in a market account in their name. Would that sway you in any way? I think this is Trump talking about it.
Here's how the accounts work. For every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that will pick. Right, Michael? We'll pick it. We'll pick a good one. Maybe you should be the index. Good one. I'd like to have that. These kids would be very wealthy if that were the case. That would be a good idea.
All right, I'm not one to just light a fire and throw it here. But, okay, Josh, can you run some numbers for me now?
Yes. I can run numbers, too. I got his backup.
I hate to do this to anybody, but how many babies are born in the U.S. each year? Question number one. All right, how many babies born?
According to the 2023 numbers, we had almost 3.6 million babies born in the U.S., which is a 2% decrease from 2022.
All right, 3.6 mil over what? 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Okay,
birth rate in 2023 was 10.7 per 1,000 people.
So we're talking about 12 million kids if it stays flat and doesn't go up, which it's intended to make it go up, just for the record. Now let's run the math on this. 12 million times 1,000.
Oh,
that's the tough one there. I mean, really, it would be 12 something. Yeah. What is it?
12 billion.
12 billion? Okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. 12 billion is the amount. I don't know how much Doge saved, but hopefully it's more than $12 billion because this will cost us at least that much, the face value of the investment for all these little kids that are going to get $1,000 a piece in some kind of little savings account thing. I don't think it's necessarily bad. I think we We need more young people to be born and go into the marketplace. But is it worth it? And would it change any of your plans to get $1,000 for your baby if it was born?
How do you follow up on that?
What do you mean?
How do you make sure, like, once you have this baby, like
that it's there?
You have an account number, and I
hope so. Yeah.
See where the money's at. You get a check.
Like with your Social Security.
Yeah, maybe it could be like they go like in baby investment line or something. I don't know how it's going to work, but I like it in some ways. Sounds expensive in others, $12 billion, but would it change your mind on anything? MFQ says $1,000 is a joke. Feral Kitten says $1,000 does not even cover a fraction of the hospital bill to even have the baby. So, like, why? It is kind of costly. It is a little bit costly. But if you were 18 and somebody gave you $4,000, I think you'd probably be happy about it from that end. Again, let us know what you think. We're going to get into the riots in Los Angeles and kind of spreading some of this activity to other cities. The headlines from overseas are wild, man. They think we are up to something here in the United States. In Australia, they're straight up saying World War III. World War III. Are we headed for World War III? That seems a bit over the top, but we'll digest together and see what the latest is on the ground. We got some press conferences, all sorts of fun stuff on the way on a Share the Show Tuesday, and that's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Facebook at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Emergency crews are off to the shoulder, clearing up an accident on Florida's Turnpike northbound before Osceola Parkway. Keep an eye out for a crash reported on Goldenrod Road south of Aloma Avenue. There's an accident on John Young Parkway near Town Center Boulevard. Traffic still slowing down on I-4 through that Lake Buena Vista area. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust Rapid Radios for instant, reliable team communication with nationwide LTE coverage, push-to-talk convenience, and room for up to 200 units on one feed. Keeping connected's never been easier.
Order now at rapidradios.com.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One.
Let's go, Mike. Little cameraman, how you doing today? Hello. Hang on, I gotta get a clip ready for when we come back. Okay, everybody. C-Lane is currently in jury duty right this moment. And with my luck, C-Lane will probably get chosen for a jury. If he gets chosen for a jury, we may lose him all week. Sabrina is out Thursday, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday to go to Bonnaroo. So, you know, if the wheels fall off, then it'll be Josh and me, if I'm lucky, for the rest of the week. If C-Lane doesn't get picked for jury duty, then he'll be back tomorrow and will be more normal until Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, when Josh will be back. So things are going well. The little cameraman really carries the show. He does. He wears the same outfit every day, which is pretty embarrassing. It's like bib overalls, you know, like overalls with like a white shirt on the bottom. He's fat as hell. He's a little fat guy. I'd show you him, but I can't turn it around. Hello? Don't open the door. That's as much as I want it open. Okay. What do you need?
When you get a chance, can you ask her to bring quilts?
Oh, okay. I forgot about that. Do I need to do that now? Can I do it after the show? Maybe I need to do it now.
Just do it now.
Okay.
We're gonna
All right, I'm doing it now. Okay, back on it. Tammy says, poor Josh if the wheels fall off. Yeah, true. I mean, he'll just be swimming in it, but he knows how to do all the sea lane stuff. What you can't see, let's see. Can you see this? All right, these are the monitor screens here. This is the program feed before delay, and this is the overall grid of cameras, which strangely enough is going to be changing today, probably, when the new switcher goes in later today. Ignore my ass crack. This is the grid of cameras, and in Josh's studio here, there's a whole bunch of buttons just off screen, and that runs everything from camera switching to scenes to all kinds of stuff. And so Josh has to man that when Sea Lane's not here. So bless his soul. What kind of switcher did you get, Sean? An ATEM Constellation 20 input SDI. Two minutes. The world thinks, says Gringo from Gringolandia. What is that? Who are you even responding to? What exactly did Courtney not like about 28 Days Later that made her stop watching? I think there was like some animal stuff in the beginning, and just overall the quality of the first one was like a little bit shoddy. She didn't like it in the moment. She wasn't a fan. Excuse me. 90 seconds. All right, we got to talk about the updates out of Los Angeles. We'll go to the interesting stuff and what's happening in some other cities. What's it going to look like this weekend? Translation, white guy from White Guylandia. Yeah, well, I mean, I got that, but what the hell is he talking about? All right, we're coming back here. Basically racist. Americans that claim what the world thinks from inside their bubble. Well, let's get down to it, folks. Here we go. Excuse me.
50 lucky winners will each receive a $100 grocery voucher to indulge in fresh from Florida goodness. Enter to win at iHeart.com/fresh from Florida.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
Do you have AC needs? Turn to the experts at Carrier. Go to millsair.com.
Real Radio 104.1.
We'd tell you to check out the app chat room, but those people are weird and mostly naked.
Some of you, most of you are for sure around here. So take a seat, enjoy yourself, learn more about the show. If you're new around here, go to thenewsjunkie.com. They're calling it World War III, which seems a little bit dramatic, honestly. I don't know. Like World War III seems a bit much for what's happening in Los Angeles with the riots there.
The kids will call it extra, I believe.
Yeah, I think that seems extra. And even if it's not, it'll be fine for the purposes of this. It seems extra to call it World War III. But that's what a lot of the other countries are thinking when they see what's happening here in the United States. And I think maybe it's because places like Australia and some of these other spots don't see as much social unrest or riots or those kind of things. Los Angeles does this every once in a while. It's like a steam valve or something in the city.
Yeah, the pendulum. I was thinking about it this morning. I'm like, it's been what since the last political unrest where we saw it like this?
2020, probably.
Yeah, 2020. Prior to that, 2024. So it's every 4 to 4.5 years that we have something like this.
Yeah, it's not very. It's not abnormal.
Or 2016, rather.
Coming out of Los Angeles during the summer of 2020, it was abnormal because there was all these riots happening places that never have riots. It was like, it was spreading from city to city to city, and you could have CNN with like 40 shots of different downtown areas. That hasn't happened just yet. Like I drove by downtown on Sunday, I think, and there were protesters protesting ICE. There were 4 of them downtown. All right. The downtown protest was 4 people. They were all shoulder to shoulder exercising their right to protest, but they were very lonely out there. So this isn't like a big, giant nationwide thing just yet, but it looks like it is kind of spreading from one place to another a little bit. Let's see what the Los Angeles cops are saying about things over there, which one of the craziest things is I see these people in the streets, these agitators and stuff out in the streets, and they're saying, F the police, F the Los Angeles police, F the sheriff's department, F this and that. I'm like, they're on your side. The police in Los Angeles are not friends of ICE. They are a sanctuary city and a sanctuary state. They don't want the feds in there deporting people who are there illegally. They literally are like lining up with you on everything. And you go, yeah, we're going to do our best to try to kill some of these people. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but there's a lot of bad strategy at play. So let's see what the cops have to say. And here's the press conference.
Of assignment. We also notify all relevant command staff, including my office, the Office of Operations, Emergency Operations Division, in order to ensure seamless communication and coordination. In response to current events, we've also implemented partial mobilization of the department, which means we've extended watch hours, deferred days off for some personnel, and alerted off-duty officers to be ready for deployment.
All the cops who wanted to get a little vacation in, too bad. Ain't going to happen for you. They're all on full watch here. They can't take off extra days. Everybody's got to be working.
Our ability to scale up quickly is essential during this kind of fluid and unpredictable situation. We're deeply appreciative of the assistance we've received through the California Mutual Aid System, with officers and deputies from across Southern California already on the ground in Los Angeles supporting our efforts.
Over on YouTube, G80 Will Run says, well, I'm not youth. I don't understand. Like some of this was just sloppy. You think it's a stretch, but World War III will come sooner or later. Everything that's happening today is a telltale sign, even climate changes and these storms. Okay. That's a lot. What I'm going to take from that mess is that you're saying that we're inevitably headed toward World War III.
Would that also involve the rest of the world, though?
Yeah. The World War usually involves more than one country.
Yeah. You might be thinking of a different type of war. But
Civil, perhaps.
Yeah, Civil War II, Electric Boogaloo would make more sense.
I'm no historian, but...
And I don't even think that will be an issue at all, because this is not some major popular movement, right? The people who are on the streets in Los Angeles are still on the unpopular side, some minority, a very loud, vocal minority of people. If you look at the polls, actually, they're very, very friendly to Trump right now. People are supportive, most of them, of Trump's immigration crackdown, of the very things that you're seeing on a lot of these streets. In fact, there was one in just yesterday or the day before, after some of the stuff has happened in California. So I don't buy into that whole thing. I've heard people screaming about and screeching about World War III since as long as I've been doing this. It's just kind of like you inevitably call everybody a Nazi. You inevitably say everything is World War III. That's what I'm thinking.
We're also aware of reports that the president intends or has deployed U.S. Marines to Los Angeles. The introduction of federal military personnel without direct coordination creates logistical challenges and risks confusion during critical incidents. The Los Angeles Police Department, alongside our mutual aid partners, have decades of experience managing large-scale public demonstrations.
Then what are you
and
doing?
we remain confident in our ability to be able to do so professionally and effectively.
You can't do this. This is such a weird thing to me. Like, blame the feds, blame the National Guard, blame Trump, blame all this. Everybody has eyeballs. Everybody saw what happened on nights 2 and 3 in Los Angeles. You didn't have control of the city for the millionth time. You let these things spiral out of control. It turned from some sort of like legitimate protest into an absolute riot, and the cops didn't have control over that. So to be like afterwards, like, well, everything was fine. It didn't get bad until you got here. I don't get it, man. It's this kind of like dopey way that people handle these stories. Like, you might agree with the protesters. That's fine. But to pretend like nothing is out of control and the cops have everything under control is just fantasy. It's just not the real world, I don't think. But we'll see what happens as the days go on. The crowd looked to me to be smaller in Los Angeles last night. I just thought there wasn't as many people, even though there was still some looting going on. Still had people running into, what is this?
Looting.
Is it an Adidas store or something?
Oh.
Running into the Adidas store.
Right. Nobody.
Oh, man.
A couple people have things in their hands. Oh, this is inside.
No, they're all running in right now. They're running in to get the stuff.
Oh, and the boy's like, I don't get paid enough for this.
The guy behind the counter at Adidas is just like, son of a bitch.
He saw them burn that Waymo outside, so he's like, I'm not bothering.
Yeah, why even stop? And I think your boss at Adidas would probably go, it's going to happen. Let it happen. They all rush into this. Saved thousands of illegals' lives by stealing those Adidas, I'm sure. There was more places where they were breaking into spots like that. One of the tweets that I think really stuck out to me was Gavin Newsom, governor of California, said, "New," all caps, "we are suing Donald Trump. This is a manufactured crisis. He's creating fear and terror to take over a state militia and violate the U.S. Constitution," which is not true. The illegal order, which is not true, he signed could allow him to send the military into any state he wishes. And AB84, a.k.a. former NFL star Antonio Brown, responded to Governor Newsom by saying, "I had sex with your wife, Gavin."
Okay.
And
that's classic AB.
If there's one way to confess it, he's like, I know a lot of people are going to be commenting, so that'll just get lost in the shuffle. Might as well tell him now.
Oh, he's perfect for this. Antonio Brown on Twitter is maybe one of the most offensive people. I think he has CTE ESPN, which is posts that he does about people who like lost their mind on in the sports world. Then he has like Cracker of the Day.
Cracker of the Year, even. I think Shane Gillis won.
Like he goes after everybody. You got to give it to him. But Antonio Brown responded to Gavin Newsom, the governor, by saying, "I had sex with your wife, Gavin. Don't know if true." Or perhaps there'll be another lawsuit over that. I'm not sure if that is real or not, but I know that they have posted that out there. So
do you think he's going to say something to his wife, though? Like dinner tonight, he's like, "Honey, just for peace of mind, the tweet here."
Here's a problem. What's his wife's name? Can you find out what Gavin Newsom's wife's name is? But now if I search for Antonio Brown and then Gavin Newsom's wife's name, I'm probably just going to find this, right? Like,
wife
that might be the issue.
Is
I forgot.
Jennifer.
Jennifer what?
Jennifer Seibel
Newsom.
Okay, Jennifer Newsom. Let's just see if that comes up with it. I had sex with your wife. Yep, that's the original post. This is what I was worried about. We may only get just all of the new stuff that's from this. But did she date Antonio Brown or
life,
I never know what to
Unless
believe.
he's talking about Gavin's ex-wife who is dating Trump, Don Jr.?
Oh, yeah. Is that Kimberly Guilfoyle or somebody else?
Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Right. Yeah. It's all very incestuous. It's wild how this all spreads from side to side.
She was a accuser against Harvey Weinstein.
Who was?
His wife?
His wife.
His wife? Oh, really?
Current wife.
That doesn't surprise me. She was in the state of California. Yeah, it seems at the end of the day that almost every woman in the state of California was wronged or raped or otherwise by Harvey Weinstein. That's how prolific of an abuser that guy was. But all right, yeah. So that's Antonio Brown getting into things here. World War III? I don't think so. I think we got some riots. I think it's going to be interesting to see if this does spread to other cities, like it started to on a small scale. Can leftists kind of get that momentum behind them? And next thing you know, this is everywhere. Here's the problem with this as I see it. And agree or disagree, all that's fine. I think this is absolutely the worst thing you could do. All of this for the illegal immigrants in the country. This is like the worst representation the illegal immigrants could ask for. The unlikable in every way agitators, looters, the anti-American, anti-capitalist stuff that's happening on the streets of Los Angeles, these celebrities that are out there being just as obnoxious, these hyper loud, obnoxious people are doing nothing at all to help the actual illegal immigrants they pretend to be fighting for. Really, they're just fighting. They're anti-American, they're anti-capitalist in the system, and they want revolution, a lot of these people. They are the worst representatives for these folks. Can I tell you, you want to know the most amazing thing you could ever do? Have a regular person meet somebody who's in this country illegal. Because if you have somebody just meet like a Mexican immigrant who's been illegally hanging on in this country for like 15 to 20 years, go to their house, it's their daughter's like quinceañera or something. They got more American flags than anybody else in your neighborhood. They're working their asses off. They're doing all of this stuff. I think most Americans see that and they're like, yeah, well, not them. You know what I mean? I think a lot of Americans see it like, well, not them. I want the person who's committing all these crimes. I want this person. I want that person. Right. I want the murderers. I want the rapists. I want those people all deported, but not them once they meet the person that is here illegally, but is actually a good person. That's so much better of a representation than all of these losers on the streets. It does not help at all. I think it just kind of worsens things for their case, honestly. But let us know what you think. Send a dispatch over to thenewsjunkie.com right now. Emails, too. Those will come into tips@thenewsjunkie.com. We'll keep an eye on all of that as it goes around. When we come back, we not only will get to you, we'll get to a person breaking a world record, and this is maybe one of the worst ideas I've heard in a while. Excuse me. What's happening? You got to hear this, and you're not going to want to try it. You are not going to want to try this yourself. What is it? That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
This weekend, Real Radio 104.1 smells like the 90s. Classic alternative.
Tuesday forecast for Central Florida, and today does feature a good amount of sunshine, at least for the first half of our day, before the return of some afternoon sea breeze-driven showers and storms. We'll be expecting about a 60% chance of rain, and some of these could provide us with some heavy downpours, gusty winds, and frequent lightning. We'll also be expecting the return of hot and humid temperatures, highs around the low mid-90s, planned for a high of 92 degrees in Orlando, feeling, though, like the low 100s. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust Rapid Radios for instant, reliable team communication with nationwide LTE coverage, push-to-talk convenience, and room for up to 200 units on one feed. Keeping connected's never been easier.
Order now at rapidradios.com.
Folks, the weather is back and forth, is it not? You had some real bad storms roll through Central Florida, at least, yesterday, and it goes from being 99 degrees to 72 degrees. And that kind of snip-snap for your AC is tough. That is tough. So when something breaks or something's just not working like it used to with your air conditioner, you need somebody you can trust. That somebody, I assure you, is Mills Air. They are going to help you out no matter what kind of AC you have. If you have an emergency and you need a new Carrier unit, which was what they specialize in, or some other kind of AC, they have financing for almost everybody out there. So they'll make this work for you. And you'll be amazed at how much you can save with a really efficient new Carrier unit on your power bill every month. That'll make it worth it just to switch over sometimes. You could always turn to the experts at Carrier, and you could always turn to family-owned and operated Mills Air. Give them a call at 407-277-1159. That's 407-277-1159. Or find them online at millsair.com.
Here in Orlando, we know life doesn't slow down for anything, especially a broken garage door. Since 2002, Precision Garage Door has been proudly serving the Orlando community. Local and reliable, that's what makes us different. Our vans are fully stocked, so when you call, our fully vetted techs are ready to provide you with same-day service. Whether it's a stuck door or a snap spring, Precision Garage Door Service of Orlando has you covered right when you need it the most. We know a broken garage door can't wait, which is why we're always prepared to help by keeping our vans fully stocked. Call Precision Garage Door Service of Orlando today to schedule your repair. Precision Garage doors done right.
Quitting tobacco is hard, but it's also hard to deal with a cough that won't go away and thinking it's lung cancer, or feeling your heart race after a walk and wondering if it's a heart attack, or telling your family you may not be around to see your next birthday.
Quitting tobacco is hard, but the consequences are even harder. Tobacco Free Florida has free resources to help you stay smoke-free. You may be eligible to receive free nicotine patches, gum, or lozenges. Call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW. or visit tobaccofreeflorida.com.
The official drink of summer is here. Eye Candy Energy Drink. 3 delicious flavors, original, sugar-free, and sugar-free cotton candy. Taste the sweet life at eyecandyenergydrink.com.
Go, Mike. Hang tight, cameraman. We only got 90 seconds, folks. How do we really make it count? How do we really make the most of this short time we have with each other right now? Oh, shoot. Gotta refresh my chat. Son of a bitch. Even less time. 1 minute and 10 seconds. I'm sorry, folks. I really did you in here. The Mills Air thing, it all just cut us short. All right, we got some stuff to get to, and we're going to do that right now. So be patient. More School Mike time coming in just a moment here. All right? Okay? Fine. Here we go. Hey, look out! Words, but as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The 2025 FIFA Club World Cup is coming to Orlando this summer for a global showdown. Experience world-class soccer as football legends collide at Camping World and Ender & Co Stadium. Don't just watch history, be part of it. Get your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets. That's FIFA.com/tickets.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by RC Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
Hear it here first. Then everyone else will catch up in a week or 2 or 4. You're listening to the
Tuesday. Do us a favor, if you're watching over on YouTube, click that like button. It takes like 1 second of your time. Barely any energy is used just by clicking that like button. So if you don't mind, do that over on youtube.com/the News Junkie on a Share the Show Tuesday.
Unless you have like a tiny little finger.
Oh, unless you're like, there was a guy I saw in a documentary. One time I saw this dude who he was in like a bed, and he had a little button by his mouth, and I think he was paraplegic, so all he could do was like hit the button with the mouth or with his mouth.
You ever see the guy on TikTok that plays Fortnite with his mouth? Have you
That's
ever
crazy.
seen the music producer, pianist? Maybe I need to find him. He plays the piano with his tongue.
Like they can't move their arms or
Nice.
their legs or anything, and they just managed to get it done somehow.
That's impressive.
It's unbelievable. It's really, really, it's very
Lady.
impressive. Anyhow, you can do that. It's easy to do. Click the stream over on youtube.com/The News Junkie. We'll talk about a world record in just a second here. One thing that just is really entertaining to me is watching a lot of the politicians out there who are trying to make friends with the protesters and rioters in Los Angeles do the whole thing where they pretend like nothing's really happening, right? They're like, well, there's no violence. What are you talking about? Everything's fine. And I've talked about how I've seen this before, and you lose normies by the millions when you do this kind of thing.
Hi, Normie.
This was like what they did in Seattle that I've talked about, where every day for 100 days, there was a riot declared in Seattle. It was clearly out of control. The summer of love completely went unhinged. There was property destruction to the tune of like tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Everybody watching was like, this is insane. This looks like a third world country. But people who were aligned politically with the protesters at that time would go out and be like, it's beautiful. What are you talking about? There's no problems here. I don't see any problems. You can't lie in 2025 to people like that. And Maxine Waters is doing those kind of things. She'll do a press conference and be like, there's no violence.
And even those who were out of step with what we are advocating, peaceful protest, did not create any violence. Nobody was shot. Nobody was killed. Get it in your head. And so when martial law is called, what are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the point, you all.
Don't miss the point.
That somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence.
There was no violence, she said. And then I saw somebody put this like side by side with a wild little like a collection of videos.
And even those who were out of
cars on Waymo's on fire.
peaceful protest.
People smashing rocks into the windows of the ICE cars that were driving by. Police cars burning.
Martial law is called. What are you going to say? I missed the point. Don't miss the
There's
point.
no violence at all.
Think that somehow.
Now, here's one thing I will say. I think you can make an argument, and this might be controversial, that if you are going to burn a car, there's no more morally acceptable car to burn than a Waymo.
Cybertruck. Oh, sorry.
A Waymo. A Waymo it's not occupied by a person in these cases.
Were they burning with people in the cars before
No,
Waymo?
no. They were calling these Waymos in Los Angeles to the riots, and then they would just light them on fire, and the Waymo would burn and melt into the road. But there's no person in the Waymo, and it's not a person's property. It's not like Dave's car that you're burning to the ground. It's a massive tech corporation's
they're
vehicle.
fine.
They'll be fine. They can take the hit. So, like, I think you can make some smooth arguments there, though. I don't know if anybody's thinking about it on that level.
I don't want to put myself on a list, but it is kind of funny to call a Waymo to a protest for the express purpose of lighting it on fire.
The Waymo has no idea what's
I feel
coming.
bad for it almost.
The Waymo's just making all the turns automatically, and then I'm just here dutifully to pick up my next rider. So yeah, I think they could make some compelling arguments there if they wanted to. But overall, it's just a bunch of unlikable, loud goons on the street that is not going to win anybody over for this cause. And pretending like there's no violence happening here is dumb. You just lose so many people when you do that, I think.
Yeah,
everybody
probably
has
a lot of people that
eyeballs.
wanted to go peacefully protest as well.
I think so. I think that's true. I think that, well, here's an example of what I saw. I don't know if you saw this or not. I saw this poor woman, this Spanish woman, looks like a Mexican-American lady, and she was driving home on Sunday night, and she happened to get her car stuck in the middle of all of the riots and stuff, and she gets out of her car, and they start, all these rioters start just like smashing on the side of the car. Yeah, this was on Sunday night. They start smashing on the side of the car. They start smashing windows and stuff. And this woman gets out. She's like, I have kids in the car right now. I'm just trying to get home. Get away from me. Leave me alone. And all of these hyped up goons, like a bunch of kids on too many Red Bulls, don't even notice what they're doing. Like, here's a person who's probably a recent immigrant, if not an illegal immigrant themselves right now. and they're in the middle of this accidentally, and their kids are in the car, and you're horrifying all of them. Those kids in the car is the country. That's the country looking on and going, oh, this seems bad. This doesn't seem good right now. This lady wasn't their enemy, but this happens over and over and over again. It's not a good optic, any of this stuff. It's like what I said yesterday, like, at some point, you can't be the complete and total never-ending free speech guy. Because, like, if you watch these protests, if you're like, well, freedom of speech, they should be able to be out there, and even if they get violent and start burning trash cans and going after the cops, whatever, it's America. They don't want you to have any of those rights, a lot of these people, okay? A lot of these people don't want you to have any of those rights. Some guy, and of course, this person was trying to attract attention. Some guy showed up at the protest and just walked with an American flag, did not say a word, just showed up with a regular-sized American flag on a pole and started walking down the street, and they almost killed that guy. I thought the man was going to be lynched. He didn't say a word, and everybody was like, there's cameras everywhere, and everybody was going after this guy for the offense of silently walking with an American flag. Those people don't respect American culture. They don't respect freedom of speech. They don't respect any of those things. This is a very, very vocal, tiny minority of people who aren't very likable in my estimation. But yeah, we'll see. I did talk to you about this. Here's video of it for those of you watching. Here's the truck I talked about where they pulled up, and this person spent some non-insignificant amount of money and filled the bed of their truck up with like masks and I'm assuming all sorts of equipment for these people, and then just started giving it away like a Riot or Robin Hood or something, saying like, arm up, here we go.
Describe where it just feels like something's going to happen.
Those are
masks. Waiting for it to happen.
Bionic shield?
Because we've been showing a wide shot and from a different angle.
I think, yeah.
A whole lot of officers on the other side of the federal building.
See, there's just like some lady in the back of the truck just offloading all this equipment to these people on the street. I got it in bulk. Prime. That must have been expensive. What was the name brand on that? Let's do some numbers. We're numbers folks today. Hang on. They zoomed in. Okay.
Oh,
Bionic Shield?
Bionic
Shield. Okay, Bionic Shield. That's not cheap. A Bionic Shield face mask is not cheap, I don't think.
I mean, from the looks of it.
How much?
I see on Uline $64. Amazon, we have $30.
$30 is not bad compared to what I would have thought. But there's a truck full of these things, a whole truck full of these things, and they're just doling them out to everybody who is hanging out there. So there we go. There's the eyes on this. It's spreading a bit, but we'll see what happens next. I got some more clips and stuff we'll watch as we go along on the show today. But let's talk about something that is just a feat of dumb. A feat of dumb that nobody else should try. And, of course, it's from a guy in Switzerland. These folks who are from Switzerland are unhinged, some of them. And this person said, I'm going to break a Guinness World Record. What am I going to do? Well, it's going to be snow-related because I'm used to that kind of thing. And I think I can really take things up a notch here. I'm going to be buried in the snow. And the guy did this. Here's the story from UPI. Swiss man buried in snow for 2 hours to break a world record.
No one's ever done that?
Nobody's ever done this before because people are like working and stuff or rioting. Everything's more important than this. And
I might be on his break.
Let's see what he says here. Hold on. There he is. He's in the snow, buried up to his neck.
That's right. I'm in the snow.
This like.
My nipples are falling off.
What do people in countries where they're struggling to get their next meal think of stuff like this? When they see
how much did that guy make? Let's do the same thing.
This guy had a whole day to do whatever he wanted. And he said, bury me up to my neck in the snow, and I want to break a world record.
It's just 2 hours. That's not too bad.
That's what I want to do. This has got to be dangerous, too.
Oh, it's not good for you. But,
yeah, it's too cold.
Do you think it's colder than, your ice plunges that athletes do?
Yes,
yeah.
But no. Maybe not quite as cold, but for much longer, right? Ice plunge, you're in, you're out, you're blazing out of there. I don't know how cold they are in comparison, but I know this guy is like, it's like an igloo of snow packed around him as he's sitting in there for 2 hours because this is what we do when there's no problems.
A sweet sickle.
Time lapse.
Too hot.
I mean, it's not very exciting on account of he's just sitting in the snow for all of this time. He's a competitive power lifter, so that's what he does when he's not burying himself in the snow. He decided to take the title for the longest time spent in direct full body contact with snow after discovering nobody had cracked the 2-hour mark.
So he
you could
was
do it.
naked under there.
Was he?
It said direct
And then he
full
looked like
body
a Ken
contact.
doll
You're right.
when he was done.
I think direct full body contact would maybe imply
He was in the snow.
Mayer, wearing only his swimsuit, so just a bathing suit, was buried under a mound of snow for 2 hours and 7 seconds. You know what speaks to me? 7 seconds. That dude was like, I got to make it to 2 hours. And he, right when they got over that 2-hour mark, he was like, nope, 7 seconds later.
How hard is it after your body's gone completely numb?
He says not that hard. He says the cold bothered him less than the weight of the snow that was pressing down on him.
So not a Frozen fan.
He didn't like the actual weight of it, like being buried or something. The heavy snow pressed me down, causing my shoulders and elbows to ache. Perhaps you also feel a sharp ice cube against your back with no chance to do anything about it. You can only be thankful for everything, this man who doesn't have enough problems said over on social media. So easy record for you to break. You guys could do this. Sabrina, you could do this.
Yeah, I have to go. I don't know. My Florida body's not ready for something like this.
All we have to do is bury you in snow for 2 hours and 8 seconds. That's all we need to do. And then the record is yours, just like that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Dr. Phil. He's been out at these ice raids.
Absolutely.
We got to talk about the Champagne Room. I've heard some things about the Champagne Room. And this checks out. We'll see what happened to this particular man who called 911. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Tickets for the 2025 Real Radio Charity Poker Tournament presented by JustCallMo.com go on sale June 17th. Details at realradio.fm/poker.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
Traffic slowing down due to an accident on I-4 westbound near Orange Blossom Trail. I believe the express lanes are being affected as well. Keep an eye out for an accident off to the shoulder. Slowing down traffic on Florida's Turnpike northbound before Osceola Parkway. I believe construction's going on in the southbound lanes of the Turnpike in that area as well, so travel with caution this afternoon. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust.
School Mike Squad. Rockin' that School Mike bod. I think I need one more spray. Hang tight. Little cameraman, keep them occupied. I've just got to get one more spray. Yeah, it must be that. It might be like stuff acting up. Yeah. Okay. See you later. Be safe. Cameraman! Cameraman! He fell asleep. Thank you. Unbelievable. People get fired for less than this. Absolutely fired. You see me, right? Okay. Jesus, man. You can't get good help these days. The Little People Union is very strong, too. Hey, by the way, everybody, thank you for all of your merch orders. Much appreciated. Thank you for the merch orders. Those will be going to the printer in about a couple hours, maybe today at some point in time.
and then we'll get them all shipped out probably by next week. You get what you pay for? You don't know the compensation package of the cameraman. You don't know how much this guy's making. He only does two things. He moves the camera around and follows me, and then he cleans Mr. Predicto when there's some downtime. That's it. He was taking a break. He needs a raise. He's fine. That was an expensive magnet, but worth it. Either way, thank you. Thank you, much appreciated. Your haircut makes your chins look massive. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I got my skull mic magnet. Good. I'm glad you got that. You got your sticker too, I'm assuming. You know, I really think watching some of the action last night, either we're at a point now, specifically with the riots in Los Angeles, where everything calms down and people move on, or it heats up again. But I can't see it I don't see it calming down, actually. I think there'll be more ICE raids, because ICE is not going to back down, and there'll be more of these people who want to kind of do this rioting and some of the protesting, too. I don't think it's going to fade away yet. 2 minutes. Question for you, chat. Have you ever been attacked by a dog? Anybody? Have you been attacked by a dog? Let me know. I have. I've had a standard poodle bit me right in the ass cheek. Teeth went in, and then the owner laughed at me so hard. So hard as that happened. I should have sued the shit out of him. 90 seconds. AJ says yes when I was very small. Nope. But a cat, yes? A cat. That's on you if a cat attacks you. Yes, but it was 100% my fault. No dog attack. Why was the dog near your ass cheeks to begin with? I was delivering water. So I was like hunched over, putting water bottles down. And as I bent like this, the dog bit me right on my ass cheek. It was bad. There's a reason why we're talking about the dog bite thing. We'll get into that in a second here. 10 stitches on my arm and thigh. Damn. Yes, pierced my ear. A lot of people attacked by dogs. Jesus. All right, folks, we're coming back right now.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
The NBC Nightly News.
From one era to the next.
I'm Tom Brokaw.
We hope to see you back here.
I'm Lester Holt.
Trust is the anchor.
For NBC Nightly News, I'm Tom Llamas.
A new chapter begins. NBC Nightly News with Tom Llamas. Evenings on NBC.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisor. Visit TrajanWealth.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Dispensing unsolicited advice on a wide range of pointless topics.
coming in, and that's where you do things. If you want to argue, that's fine. If you want to get across your point, if you've got something else you want to hear us talk about, all of that is fine. Send a dispatch over at thenewsjunkie.com or email the show, tips@thenewsjunkie.com. I asked the chat folks during the break, I said, how many of you have been attacked by a dog? It's shocking to me how many people have been attacked by a dog at some point in their life. It's pretty shocking. Where'd you get bit?
I got bit on my leg through Gene, and thank God through Gene. Because
as an adult or a kid?
As an adult.
Okay.
Actually, 2 times. You just reminded me. I did get bit in the face when I was a kid.
Yeah.
By a boxer. It wasn't that bad. It was like a quick snip. I would say the one in the leg was a lot more aggressive because I still have the scar from it.
A lot of times that makes you scared of dogs for life, though.
Oh, not me. I was like, hey, you're a good dog. I'm not going to tell anybody what just happened. I'm sorry. It was my fault.
There were a lot of people in chat who were saying, yes, I got bit, but it was my fault. It was my fault. And I've told the story before about when I was delivering water back in the day. There was this house. They had a big thing underneath their stairs where these doors opened up, and that's where
Harry Potter lives.
Yes.
Kind of, where they stored a bunch of their water bottles. So I'm delivering the water bottles to them, and I bend over and I open these doors to push the new water bottles away. And as I bend over, their standard poodle takes a bite out of my ass cheek, just full on teeth into my butt cheek. And the owner is behind me and goes, ha, 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 we got you.
Oh, so it's his fault.
And I'm like, I don't feel like suing anybody, but I really should sue this guy.
I'm going to get that dog killed.
Oh, my God. I don't want... It's clearly an owner problem if the person's laughing at you while the bite is going on.
Poodles are either really sweet or the most dickish dog you've ever met in your life.
That's like they have an attitude. Like they know that they're a poodle and then somehow they think they're fancier than the other dogs.
I'm French.
It's a little bit much. What about you, Josh? Did you ever get bit by a dog as an adult or a child?
As a child, my parents had a poodle that bit my thumb, and I still have a scar from it.
You see?
That's why I have an aversion to them.
They're menaces to society.
Poodles. I think
the reason I bring this up, did you have a poodle when you were younger? No, you had a party poodle.
Yeah, and she loved to party.
Mm-hmm.
Until that bitch took her.
Didn't mean to get into
Move on.
You got
please.
a song right there.
She loved to party.
Till the bitch took my bitch away.
We don't need to talk about
then
that.
I'll
Let's
throw
go
in
to
a
this.
C word somewhere. I think.
Dog attacks on postal workers. We're talking about you postal workers in particular. We have so many people in the post office who listen to the show. We love you. We appreciate
Thank you for your service.
Dog attacks on postal workers reached a 7-year high last year. All right, more postal workers than in the last 7 years. And an astronomically large number were bit by dogs last year. And I posed to you this question, why? Why?
They're
what
a
would
lot
be the
more
reason?
delicious looking these past couple years.
Why would it be getting worse? Do we have, and here's some of the options, but there's a million reasons why something like this might happen. Is it that pet owners are getting worse? Are dogs somehow getting more aggressive? Are we getting more packages delivered, so therefore we have many more points of contact with these delivery drivers, and they end up getting bit by the dogs when they show up at these places? What is it that could be causing that?
I mean, 7 years, the number has increased. So that, I think, means these are newer dogs. Like they weren't alive 17 years ago.
No, of course not. No, yeah, a lot of these are just newer animals that are ready to pounce on the post office
Maybe it's
workers.
something about the breeding process. They're breeding more aggressive dogs.
Could be. It absolutely could be. This person, David Coleman, a spokesperson for the Postal Service, says it's a real problem. Dogs are animals. They act instinctively and can bite for any number of reasons. All it takes is just one wrong interaction or movement for our carriers to be injured. Post office workers, I pose this question to you. Have you been bit? And if so, give us your story. You can send an email if you want to be like off the record about this, or put anonymous if you want to be anonymous, to tips@thenewsjunkie.com, or send a dispatch, video dispatch. I'd love to see you. I want to know if you've been bit. And is my theory correct? My theory is there are houses that all of the delivery people know. and they're like, oh, this house, these people, their dog is such an ass. It's so mean.
There's probably a dog that stays outside all day and gets no love.
True.
Yeah, just sitting there waiting for some interaction. And the dog, like, I blame almost all of this on the owners of these animals. There are some animals that are just hellions from the jump, like kids, but mostly it's the owners that are not doing a good job. And I want to know if it's how I think it is. Like, I think there are just these troublesome houses and every post office person knows about them, and that's where you get attacked, or if it's just completely random. If this could happen anywhere, let us know. Send us your story. There have been more than 6,000 dog attacks last year alone by these poor people out there delivering our stuff. That's unbelievable. Midwest states have a higher rate of dog attacks when the data is adjusted for the number of households. The 6 states with the highest rates of dog attacks. I'm looking at you, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Ohio are all Midwestern. So what does that say? These are people maybe with more property and their animals are not quite as locked in.
It's just a beautiful day out, you know. We just never expected our dog to just bite somebody.
And everybody now in 2025, expectations are so high. You can't just say, well, there's a delivery, you have a fence, the fence is shut, and you have a dog. I'm putting the package out here by the road. Good luck with the porch pirates. Good luck. You can't say that. Everybody's like, how dare you not put it inside my house? I put a note. The note said for you to put it on my back patio in the screen porch and go in this doored area. I wanted you to utilize the Amazon feature where you actually open the garage or go inside. It's more and more is expected of where they want these postal workers to go. And the more that's expected, I think the more they're going to get attacked. But again, give us your experiences, postal workers. Let us know what's going on there at thenewsjunkie.com. All right, let's see what we get from you here. Let's go over to a couple of dispatches. Booty Sweat is talking about this offer from the Trump administration. If you have a baby starting this year in 2025 to 2029, your baby gets $1,000 in a stock investment account. Booty Sweat chiming in.
Hey there, News Junkies.
Hey.
I don't think that $1,000 in stocks is enough of an incentive to have a kid with how much it costs to do so.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they would be on the right track if they replaced Social Security with $1,000 in stocks for each person born. So that would cost taxpayers a lot less money, and they would also be able to control where that money is invested, ideally, which would probably end up being worth more than what you get in Social Security.
Yeah.
Once you're old enough.
Yeah, it's going to help. It's not going to hurt. You know what I think would be better, though? This is the plan, if you didn't hear it. The Trump administration said if you have a baby this year all the way up to 2029, if you have a baby from between 2025 to 2029, you get $1,000 for your child in an investment account. Everybody does in the United States of America. Everybody that has a baby in that time period. And if your kid turns 18, according to TNJAI, that should be about $4,000 or so. By the time your kid turns 50, it would be like $30-something thousand. But what kid isn't going to bust into the piggy bank and take that money out, right? It's probably going to happen. I think that's just inevitable. You know what I think would be better?
What?
Tell all parents right now, if you have a child between this year and 2029, that instead of $1,000 in an investment account, your community college, a college education for your kid, free of charge. Free of charge.
Yeah. Good luck.
Instead of the $1,000 investment, let's utilize the resources we have of these community colleges and some other state colleges, the public colleges and stuff in all these states around the country. They don't cost that much to begin with, but why not make it, if you really wanted to encourage people? A lot of people go, I don't want to have a kid because college is like necessary, people think. I don't think it is. But people think college is necessary, and it's so expensive. You look at these parents, and if they're like good parents, like let's say, for instance, Amy Caulfield.
Great parent.
Best case scenario, Amy Caulfield has to put a whole bunch of kids through college, and they're going to expensive colleges and $sign. I think that would be a better use of money. But let us know what you think. Skip says, not a good idea. Thank you, Skip. I'm going to need some more details on why this is bad, but I think those are underutilized resources anyways. You basically have taxpayer dollars paying for these community colleges and the structure that they're in now, and it wouldn't be a huge hit to say, if you're born, we'll push you through this system so that at the very least, kids have an opportunity to get a college education. I think that would be good. Maybe you disagree like that dude. But let us know with some more details if you don't mind. Here's Bake Ziti with a dispatch. Talking about getting bit by dogs.
Hey, what's going on? So I was bit by a dog once, thankfully wearing a pretty thick coat. It was a winter time. I was delivering pizza here.
Okay.
And the owner brought the dog outside. The owner seemed drunk to begin with.
Great.
But the dog just kind of looked at me, and, you know, I love dogs. So I went down, just, you know, try to pet it, be friendly with it. And the thing immediately latched onto my coat. You know, didn't puncture my skin, but left a good mark in it.
Damn.
And, you know, instead of trying to, you know,
we're losing you.
Off, you know, I just tried to back off of it.
Okay. He's going further away from the phone. He said the dog was attacking him. He said then the person came out and they weren't very good with people. And he said, I don't know if it was a bad owner, but yeah, it's scary around these people's dogs. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Well, thank you, Bake City. I appreciate that. The story didn't seem to go too many places, but I get your point. This one will be helpful. Here's the drunken mailman.
Hey, News Junkies. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Good.
Saturday. Hey, with this dog thing,
Sunday.
I mean, sure, we're delivering more packages and stuff, but it really is 100% the pet owners now. They let these dogs run loose. I mean, there's no other reason except that it's the owners. You know, they're just assholes, and they don't care about training their dog.
True.
Or keeping them on a leash or keeping them fenced in. You know, they just let them run amok. Wiggle, wiggle.
This is another question I have for the post office people and delivery people. If somebody has a dog and you go to their house and their dog seems like it's aggressive and you're worried about it, can you just refuse delivery? You got to be able to, right? Can you?
I mean, that would change your entire route, I imagine.
But I would have to think that they have an option. If there's a danger, a perceived danger in the person's way of making this delivery, there's no way that they would go, nope, get in that yard and deliver despite the dog. There must be some kind of contingency from that. Let us know what you think if that's a thing, or if you work in the industry. Let us know. Pook Rat on YouTube says, yes, there is an easy solution with correcting the taxes at the top. They're arguing about taxes, I guess. A lot of people, including this chat, have been convinced that one day they will be rich, though, so they want their taxes ready for them. Pook Rat and so many other people get caught in a bit of a trap here. The trap with anything like this is that we simply need to tax people more. That's the big, fat lie. The big, fat lie is that the government doesn't have enough money. The state government, the local government, the federal government, all of them, you are overtaxed. Let me tell you, I don't care who you are overtaxed right now. They are overtaxing and overspending. They have been doing this for probably 100 and something years in this country. They have no sign of stopping any of this. They don't care about curtailing any of this. They could easily get everything that we want done as people, from an incredible social safety net to health care for absolutely everybody, to all the other things that you wish could happen, nice roads, all of that stuff, with the amount of money, great schools, all that, with the amount of tax dollars that they get from us now. The problem is an inefficiency with the tax money that they already get. That is absolutely fundamentally true, but we always think about this in the wrong way. Dan says you're wrong, but gives no additional information. Once again, trust me, that's right. That is 1,000% right. Our federal government raises so much money in taxes from people in this country legally, and a little bit from people in this country illegally. Though, you know, that's a whole different argument. But the federal government, the state government, the local government make so much money off of your taxes that they can do all of the things that you would expect and want them to do, but they are inefficient in every single way, and they waste money on so many things. That is a fundamental truth. They come to you as if the only option to fix stuff, if the stop sign's broken or if the school is not operating at the right level, is that they need to get more from you. More. They got their hand out constantly, taking your hard-earned money from you working every day. They take enough already. They could fix the problems with the money that they have now. That is just a fact, whether you believe it or not. All right, send us a dispatch with your thoughts. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you agree. That's fine. Send it over to thenewsjunkie.com. And we'll get some emails as well. Let's go to this story out of Florida. Taking this from the pages of This Week in Florida.
That's right. He's just doing his Florida civil duty.
Yeah, he's in jury duty right now.
I feel like he got picked. If we
You think so?
anything. I should have put $5 on it.
How does it go? Do you know early if you're going to be picked, or
God, it was when I did it. It was almost 11 years ago. So I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he knows yet or not. We could lose him for the whole week. Who the hell knows? Josh?
Oh, boy.
Prepare yourself.
Josh has to be here anyways, remember.
Here's the story from the Smoking Gun. It says, still no sex in the champagne room. And this is a Saudi Arabian man, a 21-year-old Saudi Arabian man called 911 this week to complain that he paid $300 for a private room at a strip club. All right, so he went to this strip club called Oz Gentlemen's Club. Anybody familiar?
No.
Clearwater, Florida. Oz Gentlemen's Club in Clearwater, Florida. He goes to this club and he says, I would like to get a private room. Now,
as many men do, I imagine.
You both are more familiar with strip club expectations than I would be, and have been to one much more recently than me. Have either of you ever been to a private room at a strip club? Do you want to admit that?
Didn't we, for your birthday, Joe?
Should I plead the fifth here?
You can plead the fifth if you need to. That's absolutely fine. No, I'll move on, Josh.
I split a lap dance once in a private room, just help with cost.
Same.
What are the expectations in the private room?
I think it's different when it comes to ladies.
Yeah.
I think
ladies must not get the private rooms that often.
I mean, they do, but I think we're all just having a good time versus whatever creep stuff may happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
I mean, I can tell you, here's my experience. We skipped school one day.
All right. So you want underage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And we went to this one strip club by the airport in West Palm Beach that would let people in. We have fake IDs. And me and this friend of mine go in, and we're sitting there hanging out and stuff. And I had never been to a strip club.
Can I please have a vodka and whatever mixer you have available?
I don't even know if I drank. I had no idea. It was the first time I'd ever gone to a strip club, but he went all the time. He's like, you want to go to a strip club? And it was in the middle of the day. The first woman I saw was pregnant. And all the other strippers that were there during the day were just like ugly day strippers. And they would come up to you afterwards, after the dance, and be like, would you like to support my dancing? And they would like kind of panhandle to you for more. And they would go, do you want to get a private dance, or would you like to get a private room? And that was the first time in my life I'd ever heard of a private room. This kid who was with me, let's call him Joey. All right. Joey, he had been to this strip club a bunch of times, he said. He's in there for about 5 minutes with me. He disappears into the private room.
Anyone see my friend Joey?
Joey's gone. Joey takes him up on the offer. Joey disappears into the private room. And all I know is when Joey comes back out of the private room, he goes, all right, let's go. I'm like,
I need new pants.
You don't want to be here any longer? What has changed your perception of how entertaining this place is, Joey? I see. I know what happened. So that happens sometimes.
Is Joey rich?
This guy was expecting more. Joey was, not rich at all.
How did he pay for the private dance?
Well, they went daytime near the airport. That's like $20 and a hamburger.
I got a flight to catch.
It was as cheap as it could get at that point in time. Probably much more expensive now. We'll talk about this guy at this particular Clearwater, Florida strip club and why he called 911. We'll get into that in just a moment. It's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is the Jim Colbert Show. Like a bar fight with microphones. The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
Keep an eye out for emergency crews on the roadways, clearing up an accident on the ramp from I-4 westbound to the express lanes of I-4 between Cayley Street and Orange Blossom Trail. Look out for an accident off to the shoulder on Florida's Turnpike northbound before Osceola Parkway. There's still some slowdowns on I-4 through that Lake Buena Vista area. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Big news, bacon lovers. Wendy's Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. For just $3, you get crispy, crunchy apple smoked bacon, 2 juicy beef patties, and plenty of cheese on a burger. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One is coming back to Las Vegas.
And you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Presented by Capital One.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Want to win $15,000 in new impact windows from Reese Windows? Pick up your phone and text the word WOW to 20129. That's WOW to 20129.
Greenway Kia is under new management. With 3 great locations across Central Florida and one of the area's largest selections, we want to see you in a Kia. Upgrade your summer adventure in a brand new 2025 Kia Sportage LX. Lease it for just $149 per month for 24 months with $39.95 due at signing and 0 security deposit. I'm Joe Rossi, and I want to see you in a Kia. Visit greenwaykias.com today.
Qualified applicants through KFA. Includes $650 acquisition fee, 10,000 miles per year, plus tax title license, $899 dealer, and $249.50 doc fee. Expires 7/15/25.
Orlando, we're here to let you know that FAS Exteriors is Orlando's #1 window, door, and roofing contractor. You can count on fair pricing, install perfection, and customer satisfaction every time. Trust the leader. Trust FAS Exteriors. Schedule your free consultation now at FASWD.com.
Hey, it's that mortgage guy, Don. Good news, commercial and SBA loan rates are falling too. Get a quote to refinance your business loan today at thatmortgageguyDon.com.
With that mortgage guy, Don.com.
Hold up a sec. If I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit Earnin.com.
Hello. Hang tight. Was the strip club Tease Lounge or the landing strip? Neither one. No, it was small. It wasn't as close to the airport as Tease Lounge. I know exactly what you're talking about. Obviously, Tease Lounge is literally like at the end of the landing strip. No, it was a little further away than that. But it was still close to the airport. I forgot the name of it. But it was a shitty little strip club. It was one room. Sean, my husband is listening. Don't say anything retarded. Hello, Beehaw's husband. Hi. We're not doing anything weird around here. All right, 1 minute. We're coming back. Okay. Share the show Tuesday, making my girlfriend watch. She danced a long time ago and said she worked the early shift, and I was like, whoosh, babe. Thank you for sharing the show. We're coming back.
Of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Orlando, Florida. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Here's what's trending now on the new and improved iHeartRadio app.
Maren Morris opens up like never before about why she left country music, and this is an interview you don't want to skip. Plus, did you know Megan Thee Stallion is a huge Sex and the City fan? Well, she sat down with Kristen Davis, and she's got some pretty hot takes on the show. And if you live for true crime Tonight is now on iHeartRadio 5 nights a week, diving deep into the biggest cases and celebrity scandals you don't want to miss.
Explore the latest. Open the free iHeartRadio app and see what's trending now.
When good things go bad, bad things make headlines. This is the new.
The show today. Thank you for the responses. Thank you for the emails and the dispatches. They will certainly be worked into the show very soon. We'll also find out what's coming up on the next episode. Obviously, that is on the way. Why on earth is Dr. Phil involved in the ICE protests?
This is not his first rodeo.
Well, what's he
did
doing?
It earlier this year.
Did he with ICE?
Yeah, he was
that's right.
doing the arrests with them.
Yes, he was
and then
out
he
there.
went and talked to the guy, and he's like, "Are you Dr. Phil?" That's
Hang
right.
on. That's Dr. Phil right there.
Why are you here illegally?
Dr. Phil is now embedded with ICE during these Los Angeles immigration raids that they're doing that's caused all the riots and stuff. And Dr. Phil is just out there hanging out with him, which seems weird, but I mean, I guess you got to get the footage. And that might be good, actually. They ought to rush this out a little bit. That might be good for ICE and for everybody else involved in this stuff. I think one of the problems is, like, put a website out if you have to and go, here's the person, here's exactly why they were deported. Here it all is. Here it all is on the website. Because otherwise, a bunch of rumors and nonsense and propaganda get in the way. And it's just like when they went to, there was one case where they went to a Home Depot, and the rumor that started on social media was that they were just rounding up all of the Mexicans from this Home Depot who were trying to do day work. And the truth was they had a judicial warrant to act on one particular person. And when they showed up there, a huge crowd had amassed from social media and started to fight with the officers who were trying to get this one person they had a warrant for. And I think the communication breakdown is pretty big. Like, most Americans, myself included, if somebody is in this country illegally and then they commit a serious crime, most Americans, myself included, thinks that person, sayonara, adios, muchacho, see you later, buddy. See you later. That would be fine by me. But I think the problem is when you don't know, when I don't know, and then I have to just take all the other propaganda that, because the guy on the streets is screaming with a Mexican flag saying, he was just doing his job. He didn't do anything wrong. And then when you look into it, it's like, oh, yeah, he did kill some people. Or like there was some crime that led up to this. I think that communication breakdown is not helping out with this power vacuum. And ICE is not doing a great job of solving that problem. Will Dr. Phil help? I don't know.
I hope so.
God only knows. Dr. Phil McGraw had exclusive access to Trump's border czar, Tom Homan. And the two men sat down for taped conversations about the raids, and I guess all of this was filmed and he was involved. But I don't know if any of the footage is coming out. You need this out faster, man.
Oh, you got to look up the video when he did it before. I mean, it's just fantastic. I would love the deal because he's playing that on his show without a doubt.
Yeah. His show, wherever that is anymore. I don't even know.
I think that was on the Fox.
I don't know.
Fox.
Yeah, is it?
Fox
is it? I thought maybe he was doing just like YouTube at some point in time, but
let's find out.
He's obviously still around doing the Dr. Phil show and now on board with ICE as they make the rounds thing. Dan on YouTube says, the Mexican flag thing is bogus. All the people who claim flying a Mexican flag is some insult to America also believe flying a Confederate flag is A-OK. Hypocrites all. That's maybe one of the dumbest things I've heard in the last 72 hours. It's obviously not true. It's obviously a false comparison. I don't believe that anybody should be flying a Confederate flag. I think the Confederate flag is for losers. However, I think a very logical and normal thing that most Americans think, if you are out on the streets of Los Angeles or anywhere else, and you are railing against the U.S. government, and you are railing against America, and you are burning American flags, and you are saying, I don't care about America. Literally, that was the words of one of the people that I talked about yesterday on the show, and saying that, Mexico, I'm a Mexican citizen. We want to take this land back from Mexico. That's just terrible optics. It's dumb. Nobody's going to agree with that. They're absolutely stupid for not having more American flags at these protests. In fact, I heard yesterday they were trying to give out more American flags to help out with the visuals of everything, but a lot of people were turning them down. And when people were showing up with American flags, they were treated as if they were the enemy immediately. If you don't understand that that is stupid, if you don't understand that that is not going to further your cause in any positive way, I don't know how to help you. I don't. The waving Mexican and Honduran and all these other flags in the streets of California is a net negative in every way for these people. If they were out there with American flags, people would be like, oh, you want to be part of America. It's just dumb. You can say it any way you want. You're just not right about it. And when I say not right, I mean based on how the American public will take in that information and digest it, and based on how successful your movement will be if that's something you're doing. All right? I just think fundamentally you are absolutely wrong about that. But let's go back to the champagne room. Oh, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough. We have to pause it.
Take all the Mexicans and put them in the champagne room.
We'll hold this story. We'll hold this story. And we'll get to that when we come back. We'll find out what happened in the champagne room. But we also got to find out what's coming up on the next episode.
Thank you for asking. What's coming up on the next episode? We have to bid adieu to Sly Stone, who is A, dancing to Heaven's music, or B, Sly and Stone Cold Dead. One of Metallica's songs spends 100 weeks on the charts, and Taylor's 100th stalker spends a week in jail. Plus, every year, the Bears go watch the Bears. Jamboree? Damn it. Jamboree, more like, oh, that and so much more coming up on the next episode. Yeah.
And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Coming up tonight on Real Radio at 7, it's a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Brought to you by MyEternalVitality.com and Modern Plumbing Industries. At 9.
Let's go, Mike Squad. Somebody says, I actually agree about the American flags. Of course you do. Of course you do. That's the most normal thing. It's like saying that the sky is blue. All right? It's the most normal thing. If you're against that, you're probably in a very small political minority that has no true interest in making any real progress. Sorry! Stories that didn't make the cut, Champagne Room, I assure you, known Badger, I assure you that is happening. We'll push it in after the next episode. When are you going to Mexico, Sean, for vacation? Working on renewing, because I found out right at the last minute my password expired like this month or something. So I'm renewing my passport and then we're doing it. That's the thing. I love Mexico. I love Mexicans. You know what I wouldn't do? I wouldn't think for a fucking second that what I should do as a smart strategy is hit the streets in Mexico with a bunch of American flags telling all the Mexicans how shitty their country is. That is stupid. If you don't understand that, you also are stupid. Dr. Hill is as big of a hack as the president. Dr. Phil is just doing what Dr. Phil has always done, right? He's a television host who tries to get sort of salacious topics on his show and get like cool, crazy footage. I think Isn't that expected behavior from Dr. Phil? Is anybody surprised? I'm not. Snoop Frog says they would shoot our asses down in about 4 seconds. You would lose the Mexican public. You would lose their, the opinion war would be absolutely a landslide. You would lose the support of the Mexican public in 5 seconds. Rightfully so. Everyone knows that. Everyone understands that. That's why it's bad. They aren't protesting that America is shitty. They come here for a reason. The protest is about ICE bypassing due processes. Fuck you! You're doing what all of these other people are trying to do. You're wrong about this. Everybody sees the footage. These people are anti-American, a lot of them protesters, who are saying that America as a system is broken. Capitalism is broken. Fuck America. These are things that they're saying on the streets, okay? So you cannot be anti-American with a Mexican flag and win over people on the streets. Trust me when I say this. If you went around and interviewed all the agitators that are on the street, they are not fans of America. They are not fans of American policy in any way. They are not. The people who they're fighting on behalf of, these immigrants who come into this country illegally, many of them are, as I've said, I think, great Americans who love this country. The people who are leftist agitators on the street are not. They don't feel that way. You're wrong. Sean gets so angry that he knows little about what is going on. Yeah. Talk to me when you can form a sentence, please. I was the kid that fought my teacher so I didn't have to chant the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. Okay, cool. And bye, Pook Rat. See you later. Jeff says, what's wrong with being anti-American? If you're trying to get anything done in America, it's stupid. There. Got that answered for you. Doesn't work well with the American people. That's one of the problems. All right, let's do the next episode. Come on. Here we go. Let's have some fun.
Radio on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in his lifetime. For black men, that stat is 1 in 6. When prostate cancer is caught early, it's highly treatable. But because most men have no symptoms, it's vital to talk to your doctor at your annual visit about prostate cancer screening. Not sure where to start? Go to pcf.org for the help you need to navigate this disease and make the right decisions for yourself. Remember, it's your life. Go to pcf.org today.
Real Radio is on Instagram at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
They're best friends, unless they're fighting. Are they fighting? It's the news.
That's when you tell somebody about the News Junkie radio show, live stream, podcast, whatever it is you need to do to spread the world. And thank you so much. There's people in chat who are like, hey, look, I've got my girlfriend watching. I've got this person. I got my husband watching. And they're sharing the show on a Share the Show Tuesday. So thank you immensely for doing that. And to everybody new, welcome in, welcome in. Right now, it's time to get into it, friends. So here we go. Let's do the next episode.
Because there's a lot on TV, and you can't possibly keep up with all of it. Even though you should, because what else are you going to talk about?
I want to see how to train a dragon.
Nothing. Weather's nice. It's time for the next episode with Sabrina. Hey.
I don't even remember the context. I like it, though.
I want to see how to train a dragon. I want to see how to train a dragon.
I think you're trying to be Jackson. And
that makes sense. Okay.
anyways,
Smoke weed every day.
hold up. The next episode brought to you by that mortgage guy, Don. You want to see how to twin yourself to get the perfect mortgage?
Yes.
Princess?
Do
and
I
prince?
ever?
Yeah, work with that mortgage guy, Don. He is an expert. He is a legend. He is really cool. And he's going to make sure that when it comes to refinancing or buying a first dream home, that you're getting the best deal, that you're not confused, because it can be a very complicated process. But he's looking out for you. Get the process started today by going to thatmortgageguyDon.com.
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote with thatmortgageguyDon.com.
I got a lot of stuff, little time. You ready?
Yes.
18 years ago, 2007, final episode of This aired.
Sopranos.
That's right.
Like gabagool.
And it was this final scene. Spoiler alert, everybody. That Tony goes to a diner where he quietly observes several sus guys they can only assume are hitmen. Then he puts on...
Don't Stop Believing.
Screen fades. Meadow gets in. And that's it.
And then everybody guesses whether or not they think Tony Soprano died or
their HBO went out.
Yeah, that was
That's
legitimately a thing. Yeah.
I just started watching the series earlier this year.
You're in for a ride.
And I've enjoyed it, but then I put a bit of a pause on it. But I guess I know how the ending works.
Hey,
where's the friggin' gabagool?
When you...
I wish I could quote it. I need to...
In Josh's world, Tony Soprano only talks about gabagool.
He brings it up a lot.
What's his wife's name?
Carmela.
Carmela.
Jesus Christ, you got what the friggin' gabagool.
Freaking.
I said freaking.
Yeah.
You know what freaking sucks?
What's that?
Sly's dead.
That does suck.
Sly dead AF.
Freaking.
Is now a gabagoo.
Nice.
The pioneering leader of the funk band, bearing the same name, Fly. It says Sly in the family. I'm so...
Damn it, you got gabagool so good, and then after that...
Yeah, well... Sly and the Family Stone. He has passed away at the age of 82 years old, and I'm now just realizing I had printed a 2-page article versus the 6 that I got from ABC News.
Damn.
So, is obviously a very long career. He was born in 1943 in Texas. And
what do we know him from? What's the biggest Sly and the Family Stone
Are you kidding?
song?
There's multiple, as a matter of fact. There is I Want to Thank You. And there's Dance to the Music.
I know.
To the music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. One more time?
That was the guitar solo. Josh did the other part?
Dance to the music.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's how it went. Higher.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly how it's.
Yeah,
Everybody is a star except for Sean during that mouth guitar.
Rude.
If you want me to stay, Hot Fun in the Summertime, Family Affair, Thank You, Sing a Simple Song, Everyday People, and the list goes on and on. And he is now Everyday People and This Guy.
I know a lot of those songs, actually. That's impressive.
Also impressive how awkward this was for the cast, maybe the entire set of Days of Our Lives. This story just coming out. Drake Hogenstein.
Oh, hello.
The soap icon who played John Black on Days of Our Lives since 1986. Familiar?
Jesus.
Wasn't that your mom's? Or was she All My Children?
She liked a couple of them, but I think she watched that one for sure.
Well, he passed away last September from pancreatic cancer. But 9 months later, John, the character, is finally being laid to rest on Days. And the co-stars are now able to open up about what that was like, because they had to shoot the scene of John Black's funeral while the actor was still alive, actively dying of cancer.
Damn.
It takes one of these. The funeral scenes airing on Days this week were shot last fall when he was succumbing to cancer. The actor's family signed off on the plans for John's funeral scenes that executive producer Ken Corday brought them. Drake, as the consummate storyteller that he is, said, absolutely, you got to tell the story. He explained Drake knew what he was facing, which I'm going to throw in, I believe, is death.
Mm-hmm.
He understood that this is a story fans would want to be told, so Drake graciously said, yes, let's do it. Let's film me at my funeral as my character is dying and I am also dying.
Damn, that's weird, but kind of dedicated, so...
Yeah, despite the tragedy of his death and the pain of filming his character's funeral, one of the co-stars appreciates that Days was able to give the legendary actor a fitting send-off. And I will give him the News Junkie fitting send-off.
Fatality.
True.
Speaking of dead people, according to reports, hordes of people went to the estate sale of this guy.
She's a good girl.
Tom Petty.
Tom Petty is right.
Would you have gone?
Hell yeah.
That would be pretty
With
interesting,
the exception
right?
of how many people showed up, I would have been a little, I don't know, overwhelmed.
Yeah, but look, every estate sale you go to is going to be overwhelmed. It's just how it is.
And you're probably overwhelmed by how expensive everything is. But it was a 3-day event in Malibu. They had a lot of things, from furniture to art to cookbooks to his Stanley cups that were up for grab.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I believe they're talking about the drinking cups.
Okay, I was...
Tom Petty play hockey?
Yeah, I was running that through my head real quick.
I thought he had like a couple versions of the trophy from hockey.
They say there was one video that went online that kind of zoomed in on the mundane items, but there was a cookbook that was there for $15, which is not too bad.
Good deal.
No, that's not bad.
But you can get the same one that sells for a lot cheaper on Amazon. We also got bath towels, $10, large towels, $15, washcloth, $3. Sleeping pillow foam, $10. Stanley tumblers, $20 to $24. Metal Road gearbox, $2,500.
I don't even know what that is.
Well, because you're not a musician.
I guess not. But I would like something as long as it was kind of a thing. Like if there was a hat or a guitar or anything like that.
I think it was all like his boring stuff.
Hey, I don't know if I want a Stanley tumbler that just so happens to be from him.
What if he sucked on it?
I mean, it's still cooler than a regular Stanley tumbler. I'd be like, all right.
And Josh, what would it sound like if Tony Soprano sucked on a Stanley tumbler?
Christ, Carmel, I can't drink out of it because you got the one with too much pulp. I like the one with some pulp.
Gabagool.
Gabagool.
And finally, I'll leave you with this.
Thanks.
Congratulations to this group right here. In particular, this song right here.
Oh, Enter Sandman?
That's right. And boy, did that Sandman enter into the 100th week on Billboard's Rock Digital Song Sales Chart. That's a mouthful. Yeah, there you have it.
Say it again.
Okay. 100th week on Billboard's Rock Digital Song Sales Chart.
Does that say something about rock music right now, that like all these, like Metallica is still dominating because there's not enough new stuff? Or
but they've also not stopped touring.
I know, yeah. Which is, I hear is great. I hear their tour is just really impressive.
Their 2-day in Tampa just recently was supposed to be really cool.
Yeah,
I did not get to go.
I know people like the opener band. What are the opener band that? I can't. Metallica.
It was Pantera, Suicidal Tendencies.
No, Ice Nine Kills. I've heard a whole bunch about. Yeah.
Enter Sandman joins Disturbed's cover of Simon and Garfunkel's "The Sound of Silence," which was on the charts for 329 weeks, and Thunderstruck or Thunderstruck.
Nice.
AC/DC 520 weeks. Are the only other 100-plus week inclusions as far as that chart goes. Charted everywhere. On the boob tube, we've got Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, and 2 other people I'm not familiar with. America's Got Talent, second season premiere of the 1% Club. Hot damn, get your popcorn ready. Series premiere of The Snake on Fox, and you can catch the series premiere of Trainwreck, 8-part documentary series about everyone that got trampled at Astroworld Festival a couple of years ago. Will Arnett, Jason Bateman, and Sean Hayes will be on Kimmel, and you follow your dreams. I'm me on Instagram, at Sabrina Ambra. Most importantly, say it with me, Gabagoose.
Smoke weed every day.
Thank you, Sabrina. Looking at the Billboard Hot Rock and Alternative Songs, number 1 is Billie Eilish, which I don't even know if you would, I mean, that seems kind of weird to put it in that category. I would put it in more of like a pop or something else, but like rock and alternative. Hozier, or however you say that person's name, Too Sweet, is number 2, which has been out for a while. The third spot is a Somber, S-O-M-B-R. Never heard of it.
No idea.
Lola Young, never heard of it.
Oh, looks like
Miles Smith, never heard of it.
The ones not hearing it if they're on the chart.
Somber again, never heard of it. The Marias, never heard of it. Billie Eilish, Jelly Roll, okay, but I would argue he's not really rock and roll.
But maybe it's particular songs that have more of a rock and roll.
And then
vibe.
Gigi Perez, never heard of it. Like, I don't know if it's me or if it's just the way it is.
Old. Doesn't listen to Billboard Chart 100.
It seems like rock music has never been more dead than it is now. And the classics like Metallica and these great bands are just, the music still sounds good. People dig it. And there's not enough new stuff.
They're not that great.
Nobody's pumping those though, you know.
Oh, they were at their 2-day concert.
But people are rocking those classics by Metallica because it still sounds good. It sounds like a new song, and it's better than the rock stuff that's out there. I just feel like it doesn't seem like that format is doing spectacular. We want to see what's happening in the Champagne Room. I talked about that story. We did the whole run-up, and then we didn't pay it off. I didn't pay it off. We will pay it off, and we'll get to more of what's happening across the country with these ICE protests, and we'll have some fun as well, all right? We got lots of distractions.
I'm sorry,
coming
we're
up
not
next.
having fun already?
No, I mean, when I like front sell and promote that we'll talk about something with the ICE protests, since that's been the big story, it seems like a little too serious, and we're going to have some fun. We'll have fun along the way. And I will say, for the record, I drilled that Sly and the Family Stone thing. I think, one more time, Josh?
Dance to the music.
It's almost exactly like that. I think I hit like most of the major notes.
You heat it too good.
That were required there. Shut up. All right, quick break. When we come back, it'll just be me screaming at you. And that is coming up next on the News Junkie.
The Real Comedy Mount Dora Summer Night Series starts with Ross Padgett, June 14th. Details at realradio.fm/comedy.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center, Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
The right lane's blocked on Colonial Drive eastbound at the Greenway. There's a crash, slowing down traffic on I-4 westbound between Cayley Street and Orange Blossom Trail. I believe the express lanes of I-4 are being affected as well. Look out for a crash on Florida's Turnpike near the Ramp Junction where it meets the beach line there. And there's a crash getting cleared up on the ramp from Sand Lake Road to I-4 eastbound. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radios walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
New Year's resolution is to sell your home? Get a guaranteed cash offer today at thenicklygroup.com.
The Real Radio Summer of Laughs continues with the Real Comedy Mount Dora Summer Night Series. Get ready for a night of nonstop laughs Saturday, June 14th at the Mount Dora Music Hall. Starring Orlando local award-winning comedian and 5-star Defensive Player of the Year, Ross Padgett. This evening of comedy will also be featuring Kevin Dean and Joel Warren and will be hosted by the one and only Angel of Boom from the Monsters in the Morning. Saturday, June 14th at the Mount Dora Music Hall. Sponsored by Discover Lake County. Doors open at 7, show at 8. Get your tickets today at realradio.fm/comedy.
Ben's Outlet has the large...
Let's go, Mike. Hello. How are you doing? Buddy, I am just nuking people from chat these days. And loving it. And loving it. We need another big rock movement like we had in the 90s. The 90s are like the 60s. I think you're right. I think maybe like maybe these kind of things are just cyclical, and eventually people will tire of rap, which is the #1 format right now, and country and pop a little bit more, and then want to hear more rock. But right now, it's just not hitting. As a matter of fact, you might disagree with me, but I would say right now, the most successful type of rock music, or even like rap music, is like the country infused stuff is very popular. But just overall new rock music, I know that younger people are still listening to stuff on Spotify, et cetera, but I don't think a lot of those bands are moving the needle in the culture as much as they did. Ryan says early 2000s had one, which that's true as well, right? You had your 80s like hair metal thing, you had your 90s grunge thing, you had like the butt rock, dad rock kind of phase of the early 2000s. You had all of that, and then it just hit a wall. Like rock music has just been not really doing well. Kevin says Oliver Anthony. Oh, come on. Where's that guy? Is he still screaming about the rich men north of Richmond, or is that over? It seems like he was like a person of the moment. People were like, I like this guy, and then now no one cares. Brian says, love the show. So sad that you're only with us for a couple more weeks. Let's make them good weeks. All right, Brian, let's make them good weeks. There's good bands that the general public isn't into, or there's good bands but the general public isn't into rock anymore, I assume is what you were trying to say. That might be true. But I'm not seeing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I follow this stuff. When I'm trying to find rejoins for the show, I go to Spotify or any other platform anywhere that has top lists of formats. I look at all of the formats. I play all of the new music. I listen to everything. And I can tell you from my perspective, rock as a genre has been very soft. And it needs to be hard. Three minutes. You got to suck it up and add some sleep token for your rejoins. I'll try to remember that, because I always need more. I got 6 new rejoins for the show the other night, Sunday night, and so I've been trying to work those in, but I've been so bad this year about getting new rejoins. Falling in Reverse, Ice 9 Kills. I've got a Falling in Reverse rejoin. Wasson is leaving for Rio? Excuse me. It's stuff like that you're really going to miss. Hatebreed music cheers me up? I don't know. Some of that music, a little too hot, a little too much for me. Add some AJR. I have AJR. I have some AJR in there. Modest Mouse was great last night. Josh went to that. Yeah, Josh Fowler was at Modest Mouse last night. He said, though the House of Blues has a reputation for not sounding that good, that the band was like very focused on sound and like walking around while everybody was playing and stuff, and that the Modest Mouse performance sounded really good. Can't believe Josh didn't say hi to Alicia. True. I'll yell at him for it at some point. All right, I think we're coming back. We are indeed. We are coming back. Let's talk about some stuff. We got to talk about the guy who, I guess the FBI hasn't caught him yet, who threw the rocks on camera, and they put him on the most wanted list. They've figured out who he was. I don't think they've arrested him yet, but they're gonna try to make that person an example. That guy who threw the rocks at the windshields, they'll try to make him into an example big time. Here we go.
back. Save 40% your first year with my name Clay as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
We are professional grade at Orange Buick GMC. Online at orangebuickgmc.com.
Coming to you live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Need help after an accident? Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1, Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeart radio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeart radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeart Radio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword LUCKY to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LUCKY to 200-200.
The game of magnets. Taking over the world one terrible person at a time.
We'll get to what's happening here in a second. And we got to talk about this one guy who ended up on the FBI's most wanted list, and they're trying to track him down. What's going on with him? That's all coming up in just a bit. I must say, during the break, we were talking, me and the chat folks on Skull Mike, we're talking about the current status of rock music and how I was saying it feels like we're in maybe the softest spot for rock music popularity that's ever happened since I've been alive. There's always been like some room for these rock bands, traditional rock bands, alternative rock bands, to pop through and become big stars. But a lot of the new acts just really aren't hitting it off with listeners. And it's the Sublimes, it's the Metallicas that are hitting it off with younger people who listen to it and they go, well, this doesn't sound like an old song. Enter Sandman sounds like a new song. It sounds like a song that's every bit as good recording quality as a song you might record today. And they're super popular. Metallica, I believe, is playing like full-on arenas right now, stadiums, I guess.
Stopped touring forever. Like, every year.
And they don't need to. I mean, I think James Hetfield might need money for his cigar budget, since that dude is always smoking a cigar every time I see him. But I think those guys are pretty lit up with hundreds of millions of dollars in cash. They just love doing it out there. And then I thought of Josh went to see, speaking of rock music, Modest Mouse.
Yeah, buddy.
Performed last night.
They'll be at Bonnaroo. How was the show?
Very, very good.
Who'd
They're
they play
great
with?
live. Their opener was the lead singer of Built to Spill, which is not the most popular band of all time, but he's
I've
cool.
heard of him. Yeah. There were some people in chat saying that they were there too, and how unbelievably rude it was that you didn't talk to them at the Modest Mouse concert.
They gotta know I'm a star, baby. You can't just be expecting me to talk to everyone.
Yeah, everybody's gonna want the Gabagool impersonation.
Yeah, I got a long list of things people ask of me, and I just can't be bothered when I'm trying to watch my Modest Mouses.
True. All right, let's pay off this story for God's sake. Okay, I've done this for too long here. I've held this out. No sex in the champagne room. A Saudi Arabian man, 21 years old. There's something about these Saudi guys. Like this dude, he could be 39 or 52.
He definitely looks older than 21.
He doesn't look 21 to me. These Saudi guys, you look at them and be like,
they can grow a great beard.
You're somewhere between 20 and 62. You're in that mix somewhere. So he was at the strip club, which seems like an odd place for the average Saudi Arabian man, but there he was. And he wanted to get a private room at the Oz Gentlemen's Club in Clearwater. Let me see. I can get the police report.
Oz is that in that strip where like Odyssey? Oh.
No, this is Clearwater. You're thinking Dale Mabry Highway in Tampa.
Thank you.
Damn. Guy knows a strip club.
A friend told me.
How close are we to Scientology Beach then? In that case.
Probably pretty close.
It must be, right? Yeah. Here's the police report. I got it in front of me. It says the person did knowingly use or attempt to use 911 for a purpose other than obtaining public safety assistance. The defendant called 911 and advised call takers to come and take him to jail. The defendant later advised 911 operators that the security at the location took $300 from him. Upon contact with the defendant, he was still on the line with 911, even when the cops showed up. The defendant advised your affiant, that's the person filling this out, that he paid an employee at the location $300 for sex. However, he did not receive the sex.
Okay.
You're admitting to a lot of things,
Seems
buddy.
like some miscommunication on your end, my guy.
At that time, the defendant called 911. Staff at the location advised the defendant obtained a private room and requested sex from a staff member. When denied this, the defendant called 911. He was intoxicated. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
That's not very halal.
He was intoxicated at the time. He slurred his words while speaking, and a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage emanated from his body, says the police report in this case. And I guess the guy thought he was going to get some action at the private room and then didn't get it. So he called the police.
Yeah.
Called 911.
That's how you go about it.
Yeah. I mean, this is maybe just a cultural misunderstanding of how strip clubs actually work. When they tell you that there's a private
12
room.
virgins.
Well, actually, hang on. What am I saying here? Isn't the famous song "No Sex"? Yeah, it's "No Sex in the Champagne Room" is the
Right,
Chris
but
Rock song.
not, all songs.
Also, do they have strip clubs in Saudi Arabia?
I
wouldn't
imagine
expect
underground.
they do.
A strip club. I would expect if they did, you just saw like the eyes, like maybe a little shot of a wrist
Not in the
or
champagne
something.
room.
You see like the top of her nose.
Oh, man, look at
yeah,
this.
buddy.
And then climax immediately.
This is brutal. This is why the guy didn't know what was going on. Strip clubs, Saudi Arabia. No, there are no strip clubs in Saudi Arabia.
I'm shocked.
There's got to be a secret one, right?
Yeah, of course, but that's not going to be on Google.
No,
Try
there are no
Bing.
strip clubs.
Bing.com.
Saudi Arabia is a conservative Muslim kingdom, and alcohol is banned. There are strict regulations concerning public behavior and dress.
So he came to the U.S., especially Florida,
He
to
said,
get
"Let's
hammered
go."
and get some sex and see some boobies.
Let's go. He didn't get what he wanted. Public nudity and all those things are illegal and considered offensive in Saudi Arabia. That's what they got
Here
going
in Florida,
on.
it's offensive if you call 911 on a stripper who did not promise you sex.
Strange thing is, he got sent to jail and he had to bond out for another $500. So it cost him even more money in the end. Sorry about your luck, buddy. But the strippers do what the strippers want to do.
Exactly.
Okay, they have their rules and their code, and they don't want to
Be
have sex
cool.
with you in the champagne room, for God's sake, okay? This guy is in big trouble. Allegedly, this person is now one of the most wanted people in the country by the FBI.
Dead or alive?
Female body inspector, as far as the shirts go. He is 40-year-old Compton resident, Elpidio Reina. Elpidio Reina.
Doesn't scream Compton.
Elpidio Reina injured a federal officer and damaged property. There's video of him throwing rocks at the ice convoy that was going by. He grabs these huge rocks and he throws them at the windshield.
And they didn't stop, though.
No, they're all blazed because there was like a bunch of people gathered who were upset about whatever immigration action was happening at the time. And they were crossing the roads and stuff. This is where the other person got in front of the vehicle and ended up eventually getting pushed over and hitting his head on the concrete. But he just threw rocks at the windshield in the side window or wherever he could of all of these vehicles that were passing at the time. And obviously you can't do that, like that right there. Throwing a large rock at the windshield of a moving vehicle like that is going to get you arrested, or one would hope, every single time. So now they know who he is. They say he's this 40-year-old Elpidio Reina, and I guess they're trying to arrest him. I'm sure
They
he's
have not been able to yet.
I don't think so. No. And he knows what's going on. He's probably been watching the coverage of what he's done. He's probably hiding somewhere, and he should hide as long as he can. He should hide as long as he can.
Did they ever find that other inmate that's still hiding?
No, we'll do an update on that in jury duty, actually, because there's been some other stuff happening on that. But he should hide as long as he can because they, my friend, I hate to tell you, they're going to make a big example out of you. You are going to be the guy. When they find you and they have the video of you right here. And if they can prove that it's you throwing the rocks at these vehicles, they are going to turn you into the example that makes other people think twice about doing this. So hope it was worth it for you. Meanwhile, there was a person who was having a bad day. It's happened to many of us. Not all of us. You ever missed a flight, Josh?
Actually, yes, I did. And then I got stuck in Houston for 20 hours.
Not fun.
No.
Not fun.
1,000%
I've done it too.
enough. Yeah,
we've all
Doesn't
been there. I
feel good
think.
at all.
A Michigan man missed a flight to Los Angeles, and he's now been arrested. And I know what you're thinking. Is that illegal, Sean, to miss a flight to your destination? Not yet.
Oh.
No, it's not just yet. It's just some other stuff that happened. A Michigan man has been arrested after missing his flight to L.A. He called a fake bomb threat after being made to book another flight, which
whoops,
probably don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Sean Charles Robinson.
What an idiot.
23-year-old used a cell phone to call into Spirit Airlines and conveyed false information about a bomb. He said, I was calling about flight 2145. I have information on that flight. There's going to be someone who's going to try to blow up the airport. And there's going to be somebody that's going to try to blow up flight 2145. If you take that audio.
I'm never missing a flight again.
Just
and do anything. Please don't do anything with that. So the call said, after giving a description of an individual, he said, they're going to be carrying a bomb through the TSA. They're still threatening to do it. They're still attempting to do it, and you will not detect it. Please do not let that flight board, he said. But obviously they caught the guy, and he's finding himself in some trouble today. All right, let's get to some feedback from you and see what's going on. A lot of people with feedback about the dogs, the story about the dogs with the post office. Their worst year for post office dog attacks was last year, and we're saying, why? Why would this happen? Post office employee, I think, chiming in. We'll keep you anonymous. Tips at thenewsjunkie.com. Yes, you can refuse to deliver a package. We asked this question. If the dog is out, I've done it multiple times. I'll lay on the horn for a few seconds and yell that the dog is out. Then I'll put an info notice on the mailbox and keep moving, says a UPS driver. I would do that too. It makes sense. I'm a retired carrier, somebody says. I was bitten twice by dogs at the door, attacked once by a loose dog on the street. Yes, we know who has the a-hole dogs, but sometimes the little ones get sneaky and come from behind, says this former worker. Here's another person. We'll keep him anonymous. I worked at the post office for 16 years, but not as a dedicated driver, mostly in the sorting room. But for about a 3-year stretch, I did deliveries. And on one of my deliveries, I was attacked by 2 pit bulls. I wasn't bit. They just kind of knocked me to the ground. What, they just bullied you? They didn't bite you. They just shoved you on the ground. They got some scratches on me before I maced them. We did have a driver who delivered for 19 years who was attacked and bitten with stitches 7 different times by 6 different dogs.
Oof.
And one time by a pet bobcat. One of the last times he was bit, he asked for his route to be switched, but he was denied and he was bit again. He sued USPS and they settled out of court. It was probably about 8 years ago. Keep up the work, says this emailer. One
Pet
or two.
bobcat sounds very illegal.
Yeah.
And fun. I'm in.
Yeah. They're beautiful animals, but probably shouldn't be inside your apartment. Sean says, I was attacked by this dog while walking. The bastard broke his chain. This is the culprit dog he sends in right here.
Not a good
Looks
chain.
like a good boy. Doesn't look like a bad
zoom
dog.
in. He is staring at that guy like I'm ready to bite your ass.
He turned into a cartoon steak.
The dog is just staring at the dude who took the picture of him like, come over
This
here.
is the before picture, buddy.
Yeah, so he got him, I guess, eventually. Let me see the rest of the email. Hang on, how do I get out of here now? I'm stuck in
it's
in
an
no
X,
man's
I
land.
believe, in the corner of the window.
It's not working that way, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
I'll go over here. It's fine. Everything will be fine. Everything is fine. Everything's not fine.
I'm worried.
Okay, what happened? What'd you need?
I just broke everything by zooming in on the dog. The dog attacked me through the computer.
They're getting
as a
smarter.
result of my interactions. It's fair. It's okay. All right, I'm bringing it back up now. So, yeah, he said this dog attacked him. He took a picture of said dog, And
now the dog is dead.
The bastard broke his chain. I came back with the car to try to talk to the owner. He was on his porch and didn't give an F. Animal control didn't do anything either. Ain't that the truth? It happens too much. Until they do what I said, I know. It's like a broken record. But until we start punishing people for stuff, they'll keep doing it. Until you say to pet owners, if your dog gets out and attacks somebody, it will be treated exactly the same as if you used a weapon to attack a person. That dog is your responsibility. If it gets out and bites somebody, it is you committing a crime. Until we criminalize the bad pet owners in that way, this will continue to happen. It'll happen over and over and over again to little kids, little girls, all across the country until we go, oh, you let your dog out, it roamed around and it bit that person's face. You're not just worried about a lawsuit, not just worried about your homeowner's insurance picking up the tab for you. No. You're worried about a lot more than that. You're worried about going to jail because that's what should happen to some of these people. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get to jury duties coming up in a bit. We'll get to that New Orleans jail escape there, and big news and some really interesting stuff in the Diddy case that I absolutely want to talk about. But when we return, we got to talk about this big parade that's coming up. What's going to happen and how crazy are things going to get for this huge military parade? That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real radio is
Monsters in the Morning.
When she's got her face head deep in your chi-chi.
Damn, that was good. The Monsters in the Morning.
Real Radio 104.1.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's an accident getting cleared up on the ramp from Sand Lake Road to I-4 eastbound. An accident's reported on Colonial Drive near the Greenway there. Keep an eye out for emergency crews clearing up an accident on I-4 westbound between Cayley Street and Orange Blossom Trail. I believe the express lanes are being affected as well. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
Hello, everybody. We are currently in a commercial break. We'll be back in 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but I'm going to come talk to you in a moment, whether you like it or not. Kim? Uh-oh. Made a bit of a mistake. Little mistake-arino. All right. Quick note. Quick note for you, chat. And for some of you watching, even. If you get banned at any point in time, some of you will be banned forever and just yeeted out into space and never return. Some of you, it's like, okay, I get it. I understand what I was doing and how it was distracting away from the overall experience, and I try to make it about myself. You can always go to thenewsjunkie.com/unban. Tell me what your username is and why you should be unbanned, and the door is always open. I hate the idea of banning people, but I love the idea of banning people if there's room to rehabilitate your image, right? And like to come back into the fold. That's the way I like to handle it. So I'll be a little bit heavier with the ban hammer, but you always have that secondary process of going to thenewsjunkie.com/unban. Okay? Florida Scratcher, if they create a new account, a lot of times we can see that, or you might have every account attached to your contact band. And in that case, if you start doing workarounds, you're just going to be nuked. Ban me and I'll send in the National Guard. Bucky says, if you get banned, create a new login for YouTube and get around Sean abusing his power. Okay, first of all, see you later, Bucky. Gone, number one. And number two, it's not abusing my power to moderate the chat on the product that I create. I want the community to be good for everybody. I want the feedback to be fine-tuned, and I want it to be a big part of the show. So shit like that ain't gonna fly. If you write, Sean is always writing sexy 100 times on the blackboard. I haven't been yeeted in years, says Laura on Facebook. Laura, maybe that's because you're over on Facebook. Can we coax you over? Can we get you over on YouTube or Twitch? No, not Bucky? Sorry. Dan says chats have to be moderated or they'll become a cesspool. It is what it is. It's like a couple of things. Like, flat out, I'm just going to be real here. Racism, bullying of other users, that kind of stuff is just get out of here with it. I want mods to, when they see that stuff, just immediately get rid of it. I don't care about freedom of speech in that world where it's like, no, I should be able to say the N-word. No, gone, out of here. There's a whole list of rules at thenewsjunkie.com/chat. The one that ends up getting people banned the most is just like attention-seeking stuff. And you can think that it's you picking at me and I'm getting upset about you picking at me. I can assure you, I've been doing this for a long time. I have incredibly thick skin. You're not getting at me ever. You're probably annoying me and I think taking away from the overall experience, and that's why I'm getting rid of you. Oh! Hang on.
Follow Medal of Honor and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
High diving face first into the world's most viral newsroom.
Tuesday. And we'll see what you have on your mind. We've worked in a little bit of feedback today, but we can get some more in certainly before everything's wrapped up here on a Tuesday. C-Lane is out, allegedly doing jury duty. I don't know what makes Sabrina and C-Lane so desirable for these people putting together juries.
Years ago, I have not been picked dub. You were picked not too long ago.
But then they didn't call me, actually.
They didn't even let you get in the building.
No, and I don't blame them. I like to think in my head that I'd be good on a jury.
Doubt it.
But here's what my problem is. There's many. I don't want to bore you too much. But I would lose interest, I think, unless it was a really fun case. And if I was sitting there and the case was kind of boring, I'm like, it's not entertaining enough to keep my attention. And that makes me a bad juror. The good jurors are sitting there during the case of the stolen hamster and still taking notes. Stole the hamster? Okay, what kind of hamster? All right, they got all the details going down. I can't bring that to him. C-Lane was already bored when he was on the phone with us earlier, though. Like in the
he was
jury
still in the
selection
waiting room.
Yeah, but did they give you anything to do there, or you don't remember that whole process? Yeah.
No, I remember when I was in the waiting room. I called you guys on like their public phone and talked to you on the show until I was called.
Right.
That's it.
But they don't have a lot going on there, right? There's not a lot of things that keep you entertained, I guess. Well, all right, we'll get into more of that in just a bit here on the show. We got to talk about this big parade, baby. It's coming up It's going to be quite the parade. And the nation is getting all cleaned up in Washington, D.C. to help out with this military parade to honor the 250th birthday of the Army. Happy birthday, Army. And the 79th birthday of the president as well. They think there's going to be an enormous turnout.
Wait, it's his birthday too?
Yeah, it's Trump's birthday and the birthday of the Army.
How he splits it up.
I wonder if he's going to go like
But let's
full
remember
on.
it is my B-Day.
Is he going to dress up in a particularly patriotic way, like Uncle Sam?
He will have the biggest float. It will be the greatest float, and it will
I
trump
don't
all
even
of
think
the
about
other
that.
floats.
Maybe he'll be riding on a tank or something in the middle of this.
If he comes out in a general uniform, like with the hat and everything, that would
it'd just be like
Saddam Hussein style.
Full on starts role playing like he's that guy. We're preparing for an enormous turnout, says Matt McCool, who better be cool.
Excuse me?
Matt
That's a
McCool
fun name.
of the Secret Service's Washington field office. He said there's more than 18 miles of anti-scale fencing that they're going to erect, and multiple drones will be in the air. They
Sounds like a fun
estimate
parade.
around 200,000 attendees for the evening military parade. And they think if 1 million people show up, then they're going to have some lines, but they have a ton of magnetometers, however you say it. 175 of these things that will check if people have guns and stuff for security around the area. Because strangely enough, there's a lot of guns on display at one of these parades, but you can't bring your own gun with you. Not allowed to do that.
Double standard.
They won't let you. So they said this will be at security checkpoints all across the area. And should be wild. I don't know if there's going to be a bunch of protests or if this ICE stuff will spread out to that and we'll see some contention and some chaos. I really don't know, but it'll be interesting to watch all of that stuff play out.
People are there just to watch the parade, even support Trump. Are they at less risk of getting detained by ICE? Should their papers not be available?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know that they're like rounding up people that are just sitting places at this point in time.
So there was a graduation ICE raid not too long ago.
I keep seeing these stories, and I'm just going to be real with you. Every time I look into them, it's not what was promised. I saw, there was an ICE raid on a kindergarten ceremony. And then you look into it, and it's like, it was a father who has a kid in this school, and it was 2 days before the ceremony, so he wasn't able to go see his kid from this kindergarten graduation or something. That's just an example, but a lot of the stories I've seen have kind of been like that. I haven't found any real cases where it's just like, this is a person who is just existing, not doing anything, didn't commit any new crimes or anything, wasn't adjudicated by the court system to be removed, just happened to be here as a without papers type of person. Although that could be happening. I mean, it could be happening. And I personally don't support that. I support if somebody's in this country illegally, this might not be popular with a lot of you, but if you're keeping it cool and you've already been here for 10 years or something, I'm like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't care. I don't care. But if you're in this country illegally and you're committing crimes, then sayonara, off with that person. But if they're at the protest, one would hope that Trump would be like, everybody's here for the army and whatnot. So but it's only a matter of time. This plays out. When is this? A couple of days here when this poll ends up taking place. How are people feeling about all this? That's a good question. Thank you, Sean, for asking.
Okay.
No, I did it. I took care of it.
Let's get Matt McCool on the line.
Yeah, he'll handle this.
Hey,
really.
what's up, guys? Me, Matt.
President Trump's immigration crackdown, according to USA Today, has sparked violent protests in Los Angeles and in other cities, but voters nationwide, those of you out there on the streets, well, the different streets, give him some of his best marks on immigration policy. As of June 4th to 6th, so, less than a week ago, 54% of Americans said they approved of Trump's deportation policy. 50% approve of how he's handling immigration. That's compared to 42% who approve him on the economy and 39% on inflation, which is a weak issue for him. Under Trump, immigration authorities have ordered arrests and deportation across the country. It appears that's fairly popular. And it's a lot of Republicans and a lot of independents. The Democrats don't tend to support this, but that's no real surprise, I don't think. Anonymous emails the show talking about Saudi Arabian men. Okay, Anonymous, let's see what you got here. Retired Air Force, spent 4 months in Saudi Arabia during the first Gulf War. Saudis were assigned to my unit. Saudi men believe they can do whatever they want in the States, and God will forgive them once they return to Saudi. They will drink, go to strip clubs, go to regular clubs.
That's one way to do it.
I believe in San Antonio, Texas, all the Saudis come there to learn English. They knew all the strip clubs in town. Okay, all right. Thank you for the info.
So
Appreciate
you can,
that.
in fact, have hoes in other area codes, and you're good when you go back home.
Perhaps. And I've heard stories. I don't know if we can fact check this. That was the tiniest.
Oh boy!
Applause ever.
We're in the same studio. Just want to know. I heard it. I hear you. I see you, Josh.
You could have done it for the people. The people know that you appreciate it.
I know there's a lot of people that laughed in their cars, but I was waiting for you to finish your sentence.
A tiny one.
Sean not cool.
I don't know if this can be verified or not, but there's famous stories
No
around
silent clap for that, huh, Josh?
the 9/11 hijackers.
Why would I clap for them?
Well, I'm not clapping for them.
Sean's
just to be
clapping for
clear.
the 9/11 hijacker.
Well, maybe for one or two of them.
What?
No.
You're crazy when you say
Turns
stuff
out,
like that.
totally chill guys.
That is Sean Watson, tipsathenewsjunkie.com. Whatever his iHeart email is. I have nothing to do with that.
I mean, you're not going to tell me like if
That's
you
when
were in the
people
neighborhood.
start tuning in and the suits are like, well, I mean, it must be everyone's opinion.
I no.
Let's just take a deep breath and don't continue the joke. How about that?
Let's say I think people will agree with this.
No, they won't.
Let's say you take a mass murderer.
Okay.
The person is a mass murderer, and that is bad.
Yeah.
But if you live next to them, you might be like, oh yeah, they were fine. Like that guy took out his trash on time all the time.
How does this relate to the one or two 9/11 terrorists that you don't think are that bad?
Because no. Let me clarify.
Go back to the.
Let me clarify. I think that if you look at people in the totality of their experience, it seems like you might be able to say, like, yeah, that guy sucked. The 9/11 stuff was really off the charts bad.
A real damper to the country.
Like, there's always a but with everybody, Sure. But what the person was really nice about this and ran out of sugar one time, and they brought over some sugar. I didn't know they were going to run into the Twin Towers.
Okay.
How was I supposed to know that?
Were you a neighbor of them before when they were doing the training?
Well, I mean, I was in the same state as a lot of those guys, but I had heard at that time that they would shave their face, they would party, they would drink, and they would do all these things because
they had 15
excused
virgins
it.
in heaven waiting.
Yes, yeah, like they excuse it because we're doing this act of ultimate martyrdom, so we can get away with all these
minus the martyr.
cheating and all of the cheating that would happen in the meantime. That's for yourself. That doesn't count. You can't.
Counts. I hear it and I love it. Anyways, we got to go to break.
You could just hit a sound effect with like major clapping, and then people would think you really landed whatever you were aiming for there. Regardless, we're going to take a quick break. Not because Sabrina said to, because it just ends up being a good idea. It's just
we're going full sitcom here.
Yeah, like what do you folks think about the 9/11 hijackers? I told you it's more. It's more.
I didn't know that was going to be the sentence you were going to say.
Has it been long enough?
Can we go to break, please? I don't want to do 9/11 talk right now.
No, hang on. I got something for you. Hang on. I asked this question for a reason. I want to throw this out there. We'll move on.
I know exactly what you're going to play.
What am I going to play?
Me saying yes.
No, I'm not going to do that. I promise you, I'm not going to do that. That's not what I was up to at all.
Go for it.
I'll share this thing for you that was going viral this week, and that's the reason why, I asked, are 9/11 jokes in the clear? Because this was a couple that is doing their baby announcement, and their baby is scheduled to be born on 9/11.
Okay.
and it says the little card says "Our little terrorist coming 9/11."
No.
And their announcement with like the dog and the pregnant woman and like, you know, everything, the family says, "Sorry to drop the bomb.
Heyo.
But our little terrorist is coming on 9/11." And are we in the clear for this?
I mean,
eventually you're in the clear. Like, I could make jokes about World War I, and I don't think anybody's going to care.
Please do your best.
Like, if I started trashing on the Archduke Ferdinand, I don't think it would be, like freaking out about it. Pearl Harbor is not yet in the clear, but it is quite close. It is close. The Titanic, no one cares anymore. You can make so many Titanic jokes. 9/11, maybe still too soon. Maybe still too soon. You let us know if the emotions are still a little bit tense
Give us
out
your
there.
best 9/11 jokes.
All right, you guys want to talk for a little bit more, or
about 9/11
good.
still?
My heart rate's gone up
Quick
just
break.
enough.
Quick break. When we come back, we'll get into that update on the New Orleans jail escape and a whole bunch more on the way on the show. On a Share the Show Tuesday. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on Threads at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
This is Katina Mobley. This is what's trending from iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Fairwinds Credit Union.
The Rays will continue their series in Boston tonight, looking for a third straight win. Right-handed Ryan Pepio toes the rubber there for Tampa Bay. Florida A&M University Athletic Director Angela Suggs was arrested Monday on fraud and theft charges from her former job. And a report from the NCAA found social media abuse of student-athletes declined during March Madness, but it did increase among coaches. I'm Scott Davidson.
Fairwinds Credit Union. Whether you need
Lawn guys are going nuts. Okay. "9/11 jokes still off limits, or how do we feel about that? All right, we got 6 minutes. Let me ask you, how are you feeling about things today? How are you feeling? Do you think we're going to see some more chaos tonight at these protests? Do we think that's going to die down or keep going? Just want to get a vibe on how you're feeling. And also, let's ask. Let's ask Mr. Predicto if 9/11 jokes are still off limits. Mr. Predicto, are 9/11 jokes still wrong?
It cannot be determined at this time.
Damn. We don't know yet. We just don't know for sure. Man Kickin says, "I haven't seen any part of the protest except what I've seen in clips. Probably because I don't care." He does not care, not on his radar. Dan says, "I hope they keep protesting but be peaceful. I always wonder about agent provocateurs like the Boogaloo Boys coming in to cause chaos." I don't know. I wonder about that too. But it seems like conspiracy-ish, you know? Like, if you ask people about January 6th, who are far to the right on the political spectrum, they will tell you, oh yeah, it was mega peaceful and Antifa was everywhere. And they will push any blame when you show like violent actions on video, any blame will be pushed to Antifa. And now, if you have the riots going on in LA, which is on the left side of the political spectrum, that same kind of stuff comes up. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, but I don't think it's a super common thing. I would not completely discount it though. says from Facebook, you gotta get at least one more generation before it's okay to make jokes. Probably true. Yeah, I mean, anybody who was born after 2000 is not going to care about 9/11 jokes. Amanda says, hey, Sean, been away for a while, glad to be back. Amanda, good to have you back. Thank you. Hit the like button if you don't mind. Sabrina's asking C-Lane right now if he got picked for jury duty. Hopefully not, but we'll see. Kev says, whoa, somebody's actually using the Facebook feed. Man, the Facebook page is so big, and if I pop videos on that Facebook page, they explode. But Facebook, number one, bad for creators. Their creator tools suck. And number two, Facebook does not care about live streams right now. I don't think they want the headlines, like somebody killed on a live stream or whatever. They really throttle the live streams down, and then after the show, they push them back out to a little bit bigger audience. If C-Lane gets picked for jury duty, that means more Josh, right? That's a win-win. How dare you? On Thursday and Friday, you're going to get Josh and C-Lane. And Monday and Tuesday. Uh-oh, hang on. C-Lane's still waiting. Jesus. Text crazy. Hang on. 90 seconds. Your blower guy is in sync with the blower guy outside my house. It's like they're working together. They're working in concert to bring us the loudest day ever. Okay, folks. Here we go. Synchronized blowing. Nice.
Just another sports bar when you can go to Crush Yard. The food, amazing. The drinks, top shelf. Craft beers, a gajillion of them. And then the big surprise, pickleball, all indoor on pristine new courts. So that's it, right? Wrong, because we've also got ping pong, cornhole, and a full arcade for the kids. So, Kissimmee, when the temps rise, cool off with the best food, games, and fun at the hottest new spot in town. Visit crushyard.com and follow us on social for details. See you down at the yard.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
This earful of Rail Radio is sponsored by RC Hill Mitsubishi, Highway 1792 in DeLand.
The biggest stories of the day in all their glory and insanity. You're listening to the
Show Tuesday. The three best friends you never knew you had, going through the most viral stories of the day. That's what we do around here. When everybody asks, what's the show about? It's about everything viral. Whatever's happening in the world, that's what we come here to chat about with you. Today, the topic is a lot of this like protest stuff and ICE stuff. That's sort of the exciting drama that people are throwing around. But there's always so much more, and we always try to get to as much of what's out there as we possibly can. So let's head into courtrooms, friend, and let's do it together. Let's do jury duty.
Court is now in session, so put your phone down and pay attention. Before we call the bailiff over to whip your ass, you're now on jury duty. with the News Junkie.
Jury Duty, brought to you by the one, the only Mo DeWitt of the DeWitt Law Firm. Injured on the go, just call Mo. We love some Mo. 800-CALL-MO, 800-CALL-MO, or go to justcallmo.com. Mo should be hanging out with us this week at some point in time, so we'll drop some questions his way and see what's happening in his world. And, we'll get into Jury Duty now with an update on the New Orleans jail escape, because there's still two, I think. Two of them that are on the run.
One.
Groves and another. This story from ABC News says Derek Groves and Antoine Massey remain on the run. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but ABC News says 2 of the 10 inmates that escaped are still on the run. Antoine Massey and Derek Groves.
And one of them posted online, right?
Yes, posted a video. Yeah, and I think he was like trying to get Trump's attention to pardon him, strangely enough.
Joe Exotic strategy.
I don't know. But the girlfriend of one of the 2 remaining inmates who broke out of the New Orleans jail has been arrested for helping in his escape, according to officials. Derek Groves is among the 10 inmates that escaped from the Orleans Justice Center. And that was now about a month ago. Yeah, a month to the day. Close to a month ago.
Wow.
Over a dozen people have been arrested on suspicion of helping the escapees, including another inmate in the jail and a jail maintenance worker who's accused of shutting off the water so they could remove the toilet at the time. Most recently, Dariana Burton, 28 years old, was arrested for helping Groves escape. They said that she was involved in this whole thing. So it sounds like this was a much bigger plan than they initially were letting on. And a lot of people were involved in this. And now you got these 2 guys that are still on the run. And I have to tell you, I know this is of all the opinions I have, this is probably not one of the more popular ones.
Oh, boy.
But if there's an inmate that escapes in a way like this, I kind of view it like there's a story. Let me see if I can find this here.
Even despite their violent crime?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, I know that they're terrible people. And when they end up arresting them and rounding them up, then I'll be like, okay, good. But in a way, I view them like I view this story. Hang on, let me see if I can bring this up real quick to drive the point home.
ILoveInmates.com.
No, this is from the New York Post, and they talk about this cow. Here, let's see. Here's the video. This cow was at an auction to be auctioned off for me, and the cow freaked out and started hiding and like running all over the place at the livestock auction. And the cow was like, "I ain't going with nobody." And the cow is like on the run as they try to get it. He's like, "Hell no! Come pry it from my cold dead
hooves."
And this cow smashed into all the TVs and was just on the run. And I got to root for the cow at least a little bit.
Oh, I'm rooting for the cow all day.
At that point, let him go.
Yeah, I mean, when they're on the run like this, I'm like, I don't want anybody to get hurt. But it's always a little bit exciting, at least to me. Now we go over to the Karen Reed trial, which we're told is going to be wrapping up before too long. Did Karen Reed get drunk and plow into her boyfriend, the police officer? Did she hit him with her Lexus SUV during a drunken argument and then flee the scene, maybe not even knowing what she was doing because she was blacked out? Or, if you believe her story, was it some grand conspiracy of good old boys to lure him into this house without her, attack him, and then dump him on their frozen front lawn for some reason? I don't know why they didn't dump him somewhere else, but that's what she suggests happened. What will the jurors think? Last time it was a hung jury. Now they say there's been some drama in the courtroom. The exchange was based on Special Prosecutor Hank Brennan's question of a defense witness regarding holes in the back of O'Keefe's sweatshirt that were put there by a state crime lab employee. They said there was holes in this guy's outfit and was from the crime lab, and they made a mistake. So the defense was very, very upset about this. I don't know if that will land home with the jurors and lead to a not guilty or, even like another hung jury for her. But that's the latest on that. And finally, in the Diddy trial right now, you've got Diddy's ex going by the pseudonym Jane.
And Jane, 15 or 17?
It just says Jane in this story here. And Jane testified yesterday about her relationship with Diddy and said that Diddy ordered her to have sex for 3.5 days.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Like without rest or
it said 3.5 days to have sex with her and
The half
take
makes me
drugs.
believe no rest.
To have sex with multiple men with one session dragging on for 3.5 days.
Oh my God.
That's a lot right there. This guy's a
Especially when
very
you don't
crazy dude.
want it.
Yeah. She said, I don't want to be used and locked in a room full of your fantasies to be a hoe for the millionth time. I'm not a porn star. I'm not an animal, she said. I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma, she wrote later on. And the crazy thing was the defense is taken to doing this. The defense talks to the ex-girlfriend, Jane, and they go, sure, you said all those things, but do you still love Diddy? And Jane said, yes. And I'm like, all right, no more questions.
Brain.
And I'm like, well, I mean, just because the person might still feel love for somebody else doesn't mean that a crime hasn't been committed here. I don't know if I buy into what they're putting down there, but that's what they're suggesting. And the Diddy case rolls on. Both of those going to be big when we get the verdicts on them, and we will tackle them here on the show. I promise you that whenever that verdict comes around. A country music star is in big trouble. C-Lane is currently headed in to get the thumbs up or thumbs down on whether or not he's going to be a juror himself. That's on the way.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet.
It's been a while, right?
Long day for him.
He's been there all day.
Boom, boom.
And has not been chosen or has not even had his selection process until now. So we've got this country singer who has made a huge mistake. That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Tickets for the 2025 Real Radio Charity Poker Tournament presented by JustCallMo.com go on sale June 17th. Details at realradio.fm/poker.
From the Clausman Law Traffic Center, car crash, call Clausman Law. ClausmanLaw.com.
There's an accident reported on Osceola Parkway near World Drive. A crash is getting cleared up on Colonial Drive eastbound near the Greenway there. Keep an eye out for emergency crews on the roadways clearing up an accident on I-4 westbound between Cayley Street and Orange Blossom Trail. There's an accident off to the shoulder on Florida's Turnpike northbound before the beach line there. If you see traffic troubles, call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change traffic tip line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected when it matters most. Be prepared with Rapid Radio's walkie-talkies. With instant push-to-talk and LTE nationwide coverage, you can reach family and friends in any emergency. 100% private, no contracts, no hassle.
Stay safe. Order now at rapidradios.com.
Kick off your summer with free breakfast, live music, and ice-cold drinks. Join the Monsters in the Morning Friday, June 20th for a live broadcast at the Crimson House in New Smyrna Beach. Bring a food donation for the Volusia Food Bank and enjoy a free hot breakfast from Bagel King. Chill with Bud and Bud Light buckets, sip from a full wine and beer bar, grab some exclusive merch, and vibe to live music all morning long. It's the Monsters Summer Kickoff Live Show, sponsored by Budweiser and Bud Light in support of the Folds of Honor Foundation, Camus Vineyards, Promos for You, and Coronado Beach Productions. Don't miss it. Friday, June 20th at the Crimson House.
Wait, if I work today, why should I have to wait 2 weeks to get my money? With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit Earnin.com for full details.
What is the cost of doing nothing? I don't know about you, but these months are the highest power bills of the year, and it's making me think about the years I spent without Solar Source. I'm so glad I finally have Solar Source. I started with the pool-heated solar, and I love it. Thrilled that Solar Source now has a pay-as-you-go system where I can save each month starting at just $99. Want to add the battery backup system for your home? Our pay-as-you-go plan works the same. Start with a small battery that provides critical backup power for your lights and your refrigerator, and then it does all these small loads, and then you could stack them and add more energy as time goes on. It's Solar Source.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Premier Men's Medical Center restores your sex life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate erectile dysfunction and PE.
Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Premier Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Premier Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 4.
Question for you. Trying to be easy on my voice today. I'll come up close. When you look at the riots happening for these immigration protests, all right? When you see all the people in the streets, what is a fair and acceptable way for the cops, the feds, whoever, to clear these streets? That's a big question, right? You have those audible weapons that they use. I forgot what the name of them is. Something RADs or acoustic devices, like acoustic weaponry. You have use of force, where they just sweep the streets with their vehicles and push through and get people out of there. You have them arresting people. But there's a brand new tactic at play that nobody's talking about yet. And we're going to talk about this next, and I want to see if you're okay with it. All right? 90 seconds. Kurt says those audio crowd dispersal dealies were my first thought too. Those are much more common now, apparently. I guess they're using those a lot more. And if it doesn't do like long-term damage, seems like a sensible way to clear the street. But people do freak out when they do those, man. It looks oof. Wait till you hear this new tactic. I want to see if you agree with this or not, okay? We're going to talk about that and more about the overall ICE riots in a moment here. Give away free Nikes? No. I don't think that's going to work.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Look to Orange Buick GMC for your next truck at OrangeBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade.
Live from the JustCallMo.com studios. Got questions after an accident? Just call Mo. Visit JustCallMo.com or dial 1-800-CALL-MO. This is WTKS-FM HD1 Cocoa Beach, Orlando. An iHeartRadio station. Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeartRadio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. Riding the daily roller coaster of viral news from the front row. It's the
everybody who grabbed your merch over at thenewsjunkie.com in the merch section. Appreciate all your orders. We're going to get those moving very quickly and over to the screen printing factory and everything else and get them to your doors in the next, just a week and some change. Week and a bit of change. By the end of next week, most people should have theirs. So thank you for your patience in the meantime. I want to talk about strategy, all right? We'll talk about strategy for a second here. And what I really want to talk about in particular is it okay for the police to use all of these different tactics to stop the protesters, the rioters out on the streets? Some of them are pretty simple, but one that I'm going to show you in a second is I have not seen this before. All right, I have not seen this method before. This is one that's very common. They circle around all the people on the street, and then they end up arresting them. These are people who are just like turning around backwards to get arrested after the cops ended up making a circle around them. And then one at a time, all the people, they end up giving themselves up. They put the cuffs on them. They take them in. Fine, right? That's a normal thing. We've seen that a million times. One of the other things that I've seen is the cops are tired of dealing with these people. Some of the people the cops are dealing with are pretty bad. Like, here they are launching off a bunch of mortars in the street. They've built up like a little shelter here, and they're firing off things like it's some sort of teenage warfare going on, where they're firing explosives at the police officers. That's not going to be real good for you. And then the cops will take all their vehicles and they'll go down the street and they'll clear the street out. But what about this method that I'm seeing them use? All right, this is allegedly real. LAPD, trying to clear out these rioters on the streets, has taken to mocking them from the helicopter, to mocking them from the air, talking smack on the speakers. Is this real, number one? And let's listen. All right, here we go. All right, I can still see you, he said. Let me pump this up so we can get some real good volume out of this.
Pump up the volume.
All right, I got her pumped. Let's see what we got here.
Right there, I can still see you. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Hide behind. Hey, that black SUV, I got the plate. I'm coming to your house at 5 in the morning.
He said, that black SUV, I've got your plate. I'm coming to your house at 5 in the morning. So what these guys are doing is they're taunting the different vehicles that they're seeing at the raid. They're taunting the vehicles and telling them, hey, I'm going to come after you. I'm going to do this. And they're utilizing this. Somebody said it's like a Call of Duty lobby.
Yeah.
And you think that's going to be productive, or will it, I don't know, is it poking some bears?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if people are going to look at this and go, you're in a helicopter, you're not going to get me. Or if people are going to look at it and go, damn, bro said he's got my license plate. Maybe I should fade out of here right now. But that's what they're doing. So
Right there, I can still see you.
I can still see you.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hide behind. Hey, that black SUV, I got the plate. I'm coming to your house at 5 in the morning. Hey, damn you. Throw something else, I dare you.
Throw something else, I dare you.
Do it again. Let's go.
Do it again. Let's go. So they're taunting them from the sky.
I can't tell if that's real or not.
Me either. Because I thought they do put speakers on the choppers, right?
Yes.
If they do, they'll probably be able to do it. But I don't know if you'll be able to hear it that far. It's kind of a interesting tactic. But what do you think? Should they be using that to clear the streets? Taunting via chopper. You approve or disapprove? Let us know, all right? It's aggressive, right? It's actually not aggressive. It's the opposite of aggressive on the ground, like actually shoving people around. Like, I don't know if I could find the video now, but...
is there a way, instead of like hurting people's eyes or like rubber bullets, that from that copter, they are chopper, is what the kids call it now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is there that something that makes you stinky or sticky?
I don't know if you could do that. They use the sound thing a lot. You know the sound thing, like the acoustic ray that they.
Yeah, but there's deaf protesters that won't, skin off their ears.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them that might have, it might escape that. But there's the audible things that they use. There's one of the things that I saw though, which I think the chopper thing is better than. There were some protesters yesterday who were just kind of standing on the sidewalk. And all of these fat cops, there was a bunch of like fat cops in this one group in LA.
Fat cops and little
they all
list.
They start like waddling down the sidewalk and just randomly hitting people. Let me see if I could find it. Cop sidewalk or something. They were just like targeting randos on the street. No, that's in New York. I don't know if I'll be able to find it or not, but yeah, I saw the video of them just kind of going by and shoving people. Is this it? I want to mute this, so hang on.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if this is it.
That's not
All
muted.
right. I got it down now. These are some folks talking to the police here, but this isn't the one I was talking about. There's one where they go down the sidewalk and they're just shoving randos, and I don't know why they did that necessarily. This, at least, is the choppers going overhead and going, we know what your license plate number is, and we know who you are. We're going after you. You're not going to get away with this. Would that stop you? Let us know. Send us a dispatch over at thenewsjunkie.com. Before we get into your dispatches, this is a story about a country singer. You guys know who Connor Smith is.
Absolutely not.
Connor Smith. Connor Smith, country singer, Nashville native. We all know him. He's got Colorado Dumpster is one of his big songs.
That was my college nickname.
He sings Old S10 is one of the like sing-along songs. My Old S10.
More Shoes, More Problems was a big hit of his.
Got more shoes and more problems than ever.
So the exact opposite of Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. He's an anti-Jimmy Buffett. That's what they call this guy. That's what he's up to.
Knew
but
it.
Connor Smith is also getting in some other trouble.
Yeah, James order at the counter.
Like hitting people walking their dog in the crosswalk with his vehicle. That kind of thing is not really allowed. He was walking his dog in Tennessee, in Nashville, or this woman was, 77-year-old Dorothy Dobbins. She was walking from a dog park and was in a crosswalk when she was hit by a pickup truck. Dobbins was taken to the Vanderbilt Medical Center where she died.
Whoa.
The country singer, Connor Smith, was driving a Chevrolet Silverado pickup truck.
Fatality.
She was crossing. He hit her about 7:30 p.m. They said he showed no signs of impairment, but it was failing to yield the right-of-way to the pedestrian, the person that he ended up running into. He said, this is according to who? Let's see. This is the police agency. On June 8th, Mr. Smith was involved in a car accident that tragically claimed a life. His heart goes out to Mr. Dobbins, or Miss Dobbins' family during this incredibly difficult time. Mr. Smith continues to cooperate with the ongoing investigation. So that's his people talking about this. He's in town for the CMA Fest, a country music festival in the area. But running over old ladies, probably not a good idea.
Not cool, bro.
Let's work in a couple of dispatches. Here's the Dean talking about crowd control.
Hey, part of what they do with the crowd, getting rid of them, is they use that acoustic wave and it liquefies any of the solids in their intestines, and then they go poopy and they can't hold it. And that will disperse them pretty quick.
No, that's not
from South Park.
Unless
the brown note.
Pooping.
The brown note's not real, sir. That's not the way it actually works, I don't think. I mean, maybe. But as far as I know, I don't think that's true. Maybe Dean's right. Here's Big Bad Beard talking about dogs.
Good afternoon, junkies. Talking about dog bites. I went over to go help my neighbor one day, check out his air conditioner, and he's got this pretty aggressive dog, and he's like, oh, it's fine, a dog's put up. Well, I guess the dog didn't get put up properly and busted out and came running along, and I'm like, it's no big deal. I'm with the owner. He's going to be cool. He comes running at me like most dogs do. Well, he jumped up, mouth open, tried to bite me. I put my left arm up to block him from getting my face, and he latched on and got a pretty good chunk out of my forearm, top and bottom. So once I kicked him off of me and got him off, and they got him under control, I went next door and grabbed the old pistole, and we put a bullet in that dog's head. I was the fifth person it bit. It already bit 3 kids and another adult. So I wasn't having it. So either shoot it or I'm pressing charges. So we took it back there and put that dog out of its misery. Wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop.
The wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop after that is a little...
Old Christy Gnome over here.
Then he murdered the dog. It's like,
wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop. Love the show. Great work, guys.
Keep it moving. There you go.
Oh,
damn, I didn't expect that twist, but thank you, Big Bad Beard. I think somebody sends in, this is a USPS driver sending in their scanner. If they don't want to deliver, they can select all these different things. One is no secure location available, no access, business closed, receptacle full or item oversized, customer hold, or number 6, animal interference. So they can select that, hey, this is a USPS worker sending this over. Hey, there's a problem here. There's an angry dog, and I'm not going to deliver it. So that's good. I'm glad they're actually doing things that way. Last thing on the dog bite front. Here's Flip. Go, Flip.
So it's been my experience, and it's also my opinion, that just like human parents, pet parents nowadays suck really badly. But also we hear more about it because of social media. My wife was a rural postal carrier and didn't really have a lot of bad interactions with dogs. She was mostly in her vehicle all the time. But within 1 hour of my son and my wife getting to our new house in Virginia when we moved here a couple years ago, within the hour, he had gotten out of the car, jumped on his bike, and went to explore the new neighborhood, and was bit by a neighbor's dog because they didn't have proper control, nor did they properly train the dog. And granted, the dog was a puppy, and it's a stupid-ass, doodle dog, which they're all psychos anyways.
Okay.
But at any rate,
A lot of cat people listen to the
it's
show.
just like kids. I volunteer with the local schools, and I volunteer coach, and the kids and pets, it all kind of falls in line with just bad parenting.
All right, at least the dog lived in the end of your dispatch. I'm happy
And
to
the
hear
kid.
that.
Unless
And the
the
kid.
previous dispatcher meets up. Now, how many times does dog bite?
I've seen this before.
That's too many. See
It's
ya.
like, look, I was a coach, and we had this kid, Dave, this little 12-year-old, this twerp, and Dave was causing problems every single practice. So we told his dad, either you shoot him or we'll shoot him. And took Dave out, the backside of the baseball field, shot him, and problem solved. Wiggle, wiggle, pop, pop. See you later. Like, see you later. I'm out of here. Got the problem solved.
Rip Dave.
Yeah, Rip Dave. Sorry, your life was so short, Dave. You only made it to 12. It's like a real brutal thing. All right, when we come back, we'll hear about a brand new Netflix documentary. Will we be tuning in, or is this one too little too late? More of you and your feedback. More on what's happening with these immigration protests and what's going to happen tonight, and a whole lot more as we roll along on a Share the Show Tuesday. That's coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is on X at Real Radio 1041. Sponsored by the law offices of Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Have you been in an accident? Call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
From the Odoo.com Traffic Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
There's an accident reported on Weatherby Road at Sawgrass Plantation Boulevard. Look out for a crash on Osceola Parkway near World Drive there. All lanes are being affected on Colonial Drive eastbound at Woodbury Road. Move over and slow down if you see police activity or emergency vehicles on the roadways. See traffic troubles? Call the Valvoline Instant Oil Change Traffic Tip Line at 866-676-8477. From the Traffic Center, I'm James Birmingham.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust Rapid Radios for instant, reliable team communication with nationwide LTE coverage, push-to-talk convenience, and room for up to 200 units on one feed. Keeping connected's never been easier.
Order now at rapidradios.com.
This September, our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Presented by Capital One is coming back to Las Vegas.
And you can win your way to be there.
Streaming live only on Hulu. Tickets go on sale June 13th at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific through AXS.com. But starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, Capital One cardholders get first access to tickets and other exclusive offers for 48 hours only, or while pre-sale tickets last. Visit iHeartRadio.com/Capital One for more pre-sale details. What's in your wallet? Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Presented by Capital One.
If you've been in a big truck accident, you need a lawyer that specializes in big trucks. A lawyer who knows all the federal traffic rules that can affect your case.
And who can navigate the complex web of laws dealing with the trucking company, the leasing company, the shipper, and all the other details that can complicate your case.
At Farah and Farah, we've seen it all, and we're ready to go the long haul to fight for you. Orlando.
Oh man, the summer approaches in Florida. Everybody's thinking the same thing. Is my roof going to make it, or am I going to come home to puddles in my living room? That's why you need a respected company to take care of your roof. That's Eustace Roofing. These guys have been doing it since 1959, protecting Central Florida homes for over 65 years. And if you want integrity, how about this? 2021 National Roofing Company of the Year. And even though it's Eustace Roofing, they serve all of Central Florida, and they even have no interest financing available. Contact your trusted roofing advisor at eustaceroofing.com.
Buying a house or selling yours? The Nickley Group makes it as easy as ABC. And 1, 2. Oh, and fast, too, because the Nickley Group can get a guaranteed cash offer on your home today. Just visit thenickley.com.
When Ram won its first Motor Trend Truck of the Year, it was celebrated. But after 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. And now, so does the deal with Employee Pricing Plus. Stop by your local dealer today and take home a Ram truck. Ram, 7-time Motor Trend Truck of the Year. Nothing stops Ram.
Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Rams for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. See dealer for details. And 6/30/25. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Kick off your summer with free breakfast, live music, and ice-cold drinks. Join the Monsters in the Morning Friday, June 20th for a live broadcast at the Crimson House in New Smyrna Beach. Bring a food donation for the Volusia Food Bank and enjoy a free hot breakfast from Bagel King. Chill with Bud and Bud Light buckets, sip from a full wine and beer bar, grab some exclusive merch, and vibe to live music all morning long. It's the Monsters Summer Kickoff Live Show, sponsored by Budweiser and Bud Light in support of the Folds of Honor Foundation, Camus Vineyards, Promos for You, and Coronado Beach Productions. Don't miss it. Friday, June 20th at the Crimson House.
You know what's faster than your paycheck? Literally everything. It's time to get your pay up to speed. With Earnin, you can access your pay as you work instead of waiting days and weeks for a paycheck. Get up to $150 a day with a max of $750 between paydays. No interest, no credit checks, and no mandatory fees. Because, hey, it's your money. Download the Earnin app now to get it and join millions of people making any day payday. That's EARNIN. Earnin is not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors available in select states. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Yes, it's true that most injury attorneys don't cost you a dime unless they get you money for your injuries. I'm Orlando injury attorney Mo DeWitt. It pains me to hear people still don't know that you don't have to pay me up front. Never deal with the insurance companies alone. They have a team of lawyers, and you should have a team too. Injured on the go? Just call Mo. Visit justcallmo.com or call me at 1-800-CALL-MO. Mo DeWitt, Office, Orlando.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
If you want your windows there in weeks, pick up the phone and just text Reese.
Want to win $15,000 in new Impact windows from Reese Windows? Pick up your phone and text the word WOW to 20129. That's WOW to 20129.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Jennifer Garner. You may know me from my other job, but I'm a business owner too. Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the Capital One Venture X business card because it makes everything we do even more rewarding. With no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to meet our business needs. And unlimited double miles on every purchase means we earn more too. And when we travel, we get access to over 1,000 airport lounges. The Capital One Venture X business card. What's in your wallet?
Terms and conditions apply. Find out more at CapitalOne.com/VentureXBusiness.
The Medal of Honor is the highest military decoration in the United States. Recipients have done the improbable.
This medal is for the man who went down that day.
On Medal of Honor, Stories of Courage, you'll hear about these heroes and what their stories tell us about the nature of bravery. Listen to Medal of Honor on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Medal of Honor and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
The show that takes you from Skywall summer to Jack Rocket fall.
Hanging out today? They said it couldn't be done, but here we are. Let's prove them wrong. Learn more about the show, the radio show, live streaming podcast, The News Junkie, available over at thenewsjunkie.com. Hey, friend, don't miss out on the keywords that you hear on these fine stations where you can pick up this show. Do not miss out. When you hear the keywords, take part. There's so many people that hear like $1,000 or a ticket to a concert or something.
I'll never win.
Exactly, Sabrina. And they'll go, I will never win. We would be doing this if we were eligible. In fact, sometimes we'll put on like a mustache and attempt to enter the contest.
Yes, I go by Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian is like in all of these contests. But when he wins, problematic.
And I
Not
say,
for you,
Sabrina, that's enough. Seriously. Final warning.
You're not allowed to be a prize pig. You're not allowed. But you are. Go get yours when you hear those keywords on the station. All right, grab bag segment. Let's go across a couple of the tabs I got here to see what's happening. One, with Los Angeles in flames. Sabrina said she saw something, I think, in Boston where there was more protests popping up.
The bigger
for
cities.
The ICE stuff. Santa Ana, I think, California, I believe, had some yesterday. So it's popping up in other cities, and it hasn't really become the nationwide phenomenon that they think it could be just yet. But in New York, Mayor Adams is very much aware that this could catch on in New York and hit the streets of New York. And then every cop that's driving around or every black government vehicle is seen as ICE snatching a kid off the streets or something. So Adams, the mayor of New York, is kind of giving out a warning to the New Yorkers. You see what's happening in Los Angeles? You don't want to do that here. Let's see what he says. Hang on, it's very quiet, but I can bring this up.
Bump him up.
I got it. All right, here. I got it now. Here we go.
Understand that some New Yorkers may be angry, afraid, and ready to express that. New York City will always be a place to peacefully protest, but we will not allow violence and lawlessness.
All right.
The escalation of protests in Los Angeles over the last couple of days is unacceptable and will not be tolerated if attempted in our city.
We have no tolerance for violence.
No
None.
tolerance.
We have no tolerance for property damage.
Zero tolerance.
We have no tolerance for people blocking entrances to buildings or blocking driveways or blocking cars from moving. And any attacks against law enforcement will be met with a swift and decisive response from the NYPD.
This is like final boss Karen, this lady. She's got power. She's
not asking to speak to your manager, but to speak to the Grim Reaper.
This woman is like, the power of hell will be unleashed on you if you so much as hit the streets with a cardboard sign, friend. We will gun you down one by one, and we won't miss any of you. All right, okay. We get it. They don't want what's happening in Los Angeles happening in New York City. And a lot of other cities are probably bracing for that. Nancy Pelosi is talking about the riots. Let's see what she says.
There is a large gathering of people. The anarchists see it as an opportunity and they move in. So always have to be careful whether you see a burned car or broken window or whatever it is. It may be the exuberance of the moment, but it may be the anarchist setting in. I heard one of the former police chiefs of...
Can I tell you, this is an interesting one. And everybody can send feedback in on this if you'd like. Nancy Pelosi, she just got her tongue resizing operation done, which good for her. That sucker is as big as a Frisbee.
It's a lot smaller now.
It's the whole front of her mouth is one tongue hanging out. But she is saying something that I heard in chat earlier, too. There's a thing that happened as well on January 6th, where when the storming of the Capitol stuff is going down, afterwards, if you take some far-right people and you show them the footage, they'll go, yeah, that happened, but those people were Antifa. Those were Antifa people who went in undercover and they were engaging in violence and making the Trump supporters and everybody else look bad. And so it was these outside agitators. That's the people that they end up blaming for this. And people on the left, they do the same thing with these protests. They go, oh, it's the anarchists. It's the anarchists. Well, it's all people from your same team, Nancy Pelosi. Like, these people probably voted, some of them, if they're in San Francisco, for Nancy Pelosi that did this. It's just it's a common tactic for when your group gets out of control to blame these other people who are agitating, who aren't part of this at all. In fact, it's like Trump supporters going undercover or something. Or in her case, she says it's people who are just absolutely against the entire system, anarchists. But she says those are the folks who are doing the damage. I don't know. I mean, I think I've seen far too many of these people out there in the streets who want to get into it with the cops. They hate the cops. They hate the ICE folks, certainly. They are chasing these folks all around their town. Most of them that I listen to seem to have an ideology that it's a far leftist ideology. It's they don't care if people are out there looting. They don't care about people constantly waving Mexican flags and shouting down America and saying bad things about America. They don't care about any of that stuff. So I don't buy like the wolf in sheep's clothing thing so much. I mean, it could be possible that happens sometimes. Like maybe there's 1, 2, 3 Trump supporters that are hidden amongst the crowd trying to make everybody look bad. But I just don't know. I don't think that's the overall thing that happens in these cases here.
Well, at this point, I just think it's a bunch of people that are taking the opportunity to destroy stuff.
Well, that is
just like it has been every single protest.
No, that is a thing. When you see the people who are going into an Adidas store, that is somebody who might be nearby and who looks at the TV and goes, guys, want some Adidas? Let's go. And they take advantage of the opportunity. That is absolutely a thing that happens in all of these cases. Not necessarily in like right-wing things, because they're not as attached to looting, or don't tend to be historically. If you think I'm wrong, let me know. But I think in these cases, most of the people are just like, that's where they're at. They're far left political people. So you're seeing what they believe in on display. And they don't have the best of thoughts about this country. They don't have the best of thoughts about the police, certainly in this country. I think you got to admit that. Like I saw Fetterman's comments about this. I mean, let me bring that up. Fetterman.
Hey guys, got my basketball shorts on, big sweater.
John Fetterman, Mr. Hoodie himself. He says it's anarchy. And he said, we forfeit the moral high ground if we fail to decry the violence. He says, I unapologetically stand for free speech, peaceful demonstrations, and immigration. But this is not that. This is anarchy and true chaos. My party loses the moral high ground when we refuse to condemn setting cars on fire, destroying buildings, and assaulting law enforcement. And then he, put a bunch of posts out on X or Twitter talking about all of this, which I think is fair. Like, I kind of agree with Fetterman on that. Like, if everybody was on the streets and the cops are pushing them, I'm team anti-cop at that moment. If the people are actively going after the police officers, who, by the way, law enforcement outside of ICE, local, state, they agree with you. They don't participate with ICE in a lot of these places, or at least they say they don't. So, yeah, I mean, tell us what you think. We'll get some final dispatches in on this. As we look at that feedback coming in, I tell you something else that's coming in and ask you, Sabrina and Josh, if you'll be watching. There's a new Netflix documentary. Mm-hmm. It's called Titan, the Ocean Gate Disaster. And
hasn't it only been like a year since that happened?
It was at some point in 2023.
Wow, 2 years. Jesus.
June 18th, 2023.
I've been seeing some blurbs, but I thought it was a Discovery or like a 2020 special in which they showed the wife listening to the guy dying. And then they were revealing I don't know what to call it, the flat crap that they found at the bottom of the ocean. And they found like the perfectly good pen and the stickers that were technically in the coat. Or the
do you want to
sweater.
learn more, though? Like, do you have interest
am I going to learn much more?
I don't know. I feel like we know a lot because we literally covered this thing every day that it was happening, like afterwards. The thing you're talking about, Sabrina, this is, I believe, the wife of the Ocean Gate CEO.
Mind you, when you hear or watch this, what you're about to play. She still didn't know at that time, but it was like, now that you put things together, you hear a big boom. And
what was
then,
that?
What?
No. She said, what was that?
Oh, right.
She's like,
and then it's like they've lost 2 weights or 2 tons or something like that, which indicated that something had gone awry.
Yeah, and the people in the background as the OceanGate submersible CEO guy, as his wife is watching, the people in the background, I think, knew what was going on, and they didn't want to tell her, and they just tried to act busy.
That's because there's 3 cameras on her?
Yeah, the whole time. Here it is.
400 meters to go.
All right, they're watching.
Yeah.
I think you just said 400 meters to go, and they're kind of watching the screens and stuff. 500 meters? She said, what was that bang? Because there was a noise. And so the 2 guys, look at this. The 2 guys look at each other. She goes, what was that bang? And the 2 guys sort of catch eyes with each other, and I think they know immediately. They're like, dude is dead. One of them walks away.
This is awkward.
They notice that like the weight has dropped, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah, the weight disappeared."
How do we tell her?
Yeah, because you're just watching a fun little screen there with like, that submersible's going out. Oh yeah, hey, your husband's dead. He just folded in like a tin can.
Son too, right?
Was the son on there? Or?
It was the son of one of the billionaires that was on board, I think.
Yeah. The CEO, Stockton Rush, 61, was the pilot. The deep sea explorer, Paul Henry Nargiolet, 77. And British tycoon Hamish Harding, as well as Pakistani businessman Shahzada Dawood. I feel like I'm introducing a football team.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Shahzada Dawood and
wide receiver.
And his son, his 19-year-old son, were also with them. But yeah, that was super awkward. There's a whole documentary about that releasing on Netflix right now. Will you watch? Let us know if you're interested. All right, when we come back, here's what we're doing.
Little burpee.
That's one.
That's the first thing. Second thing we're doing is final dispatches. Third thing, stories that didn't make the cut. Fourth thing, today I learned. All right. All that. Plus, we got some final things that we need to work in here before we wrap everything up on a Share the Show Tuesday. It's a lot. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to make it work.
Okay.
That is coming up next on the News Junkie.
Real Radio is The Jim Colbert Show. Talk radio with a side of chaos. The Jim Colbert Show. Weekdays at 3 on Real Radio 104.1.
From the Odoo.com Weather Center. Odoo.com, the only business software you will need.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson with a check of your Tuesday forecast for Central Florida. And today does feature a good amount of sunshine, at least for the first half of our day, before the return of some afternoon sea breeze-driven showers and storms. We'll be expecting about a 60% chance of rain, and some of these could provide us with some heavy downpours, gusty winds, and frequent lightning. We'll also be expecting the return of hot and humid temperatures, highs around the low mid-90s, planning for a high of 92 degrees in Orlando, feeling, though, like the low 100s. From the Fox 35 Storm Team, I'm meteorologist Jessica Dobson.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Stay connected and stay productive with Rapid Radios. Business owners trust Rapid Radios for instant, reliable team communication with nationwide LTE coverage, push-to-talk convenience, and room for up to 200 units on one feed. Keeping connected's never been easier.
Order now at rapidradios.com.
Fuel your game with $3,000 power hours. 2 explosive Saturdays, June 14th and 28th from 11 a.m. to midnight. We're dropping $1,000 every 20 minutes to the top high hands. That's hours of nonstop winners, high impact hands, and serious cash on the line. Still grinding after midnight? Hit a high hand and score $200 every 30 minutes until 2 a.m. This is high stakes energy, high reward action. No limits, no mercy, just power. Only at Daytona Beach and Orange City Poker. Get in the game.
Show off your new smile with Solid Bite. The dentists at Solid Bite use the latest techniques and technology to give you the smile you've always dreamed of. Call Solid Bite in Melbourne now for an exclusive radio offer at 321-259-8000. Solid Bite, life-changing dentistry.
By texting 26022, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Tax Lien Code. Message and data rates may apply. Terms apply. Available at taxliencode.com.
Imagine waking up and not needing to rush. No commute, no emails, no boss. Just coffee, sunlight, and the freedom to choose. That's the power of tax lien investing. It's been around for over 200 years, used by banks, hedge funds, and the wealthy. And now, finally, it's being taught right here in Orlando. It's secure, predictable, passive income backed by real estate and mandated by state law. And it pays you, sometimes 15 to 35% returns. You don't need to own property. You just need to see how it works and how to do it right. We've taught over 100,000 students, and we'll teach you for free at a live masterclass right here in Orlando. If you're ready to start building real wealth through tax lien investing, this is it. Text CLASS to 26022 to reserve your free seat. That's CLASS to 26022. But hurry, seats are limited. Text CLASS to 26022.
Are you tired of your glasses or contact lenses? Maybe it's time for a change. For a limited time, the Filatowski Eye Institute is offering free LASIK exams and $500 off each eye. That's right, clear vision and up to $1,000 in savings, just in time for sunshine, road trips, and poolside selfies. Call now, 800-EYE-EXAM. That's 800-EYE-EXAM. Or visit them online at filatowskieye.com. Take that first step toward clear, confident vision before this offer ends. Call 800-EYE-EXAM. The Filatowski Eye Institute. Trusted, local, life-changing.
Save time and money with a PVC fence in a box from Fence Outlet. It comes with everything you need for an average backyard of 120 feet, starting at $2,140. Go to fenceoutlet.com for more information and store locations. License number C10252 and C10803.
iHeartMedia presents the Fresh from Florida Groceries Giveaway. 50 lucky winners will each receive a $100 grocery voucher to indulge in Fresh from Florida goodness. Enter to win at iHeart.com/freshfromflorida.
It's one thing to suffer from allergies as an adult, but it's really tough on kids. Running around with sniffles or stuffy nose during recess or practice. Not to mention, it's hard to concentrate in school when you're not feeling well. And then you feel bad because you forgot to give them their allergy meds before they left. All of that can be a thing of the past, thanks to Aspire Allergy and Sinus. They've helped thousands, including children, with their kid-friendly allergy testing and pain-free allergy drops. Schedule your appointment today while the kids are out of school. Go to AspireAllergy.com. That's AspireAllergy.com.
You're great at protecting your personal information. You might even use things like two-factor authentication and strong passwords. But as much as you try to control how your info's protected, there are other places that also have it, and they may not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as the promo code at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Big news for drivers. Presets have landed on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with iHeartRadio. Access your favorite stations, podcasts, and playlists instantly right from your dashboard. Try the free iHeartRadio app on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and take those presets for a spin.
Wherever the drive takes you, we're here to help keep you on the road to summer fun. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Summer drives start here.
Go to VIOC.com for money-saving coupons and to find a location near you.
New Year's resolution is to buy a home? Get your free buyer's guide at thenicklygroup.com.
Broadcasting live from the world's most dysfunctional think tank. This is the news.
And today, learn to wrap everything up for a Share the Show Tuesday. And thank you, as always, for actually spreading the word about the show. I know this is like something you hear every week. So when you do tell somebody and like say, hey, I got this show that I listen to. If you're looking for a podcast on the way home, if you're looking for something to watch on YouTube, if you want something to listen to on the radio.
Super funny, super good looking.
I think you're going to like these folks. I think you're going to like the crew, and I think you're going to be on board. And when you do that, that helps more than anything else. So thank you so much for spreading the word on a Share the Show Tuesday. Josh, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Is Josh going to be here tomorrow?
A mystery.
We don't know. What's the last you heard from C-Lane, Sabrina?
He's going upstairs.
Yeah, he's going upstairs to see if he's going to end up on a jury. Yep. And then I guess when he goes up there, he's sort of off the radar. So will he get selected for a jury? Don't know. Have no clue. If not, he'll be back tomorrow. And then we'll go on as normal until Thursday and Friday. But if so, I don't know. I don't know. There's no telling what's going to happen right now.
Boobies.
He'll be back talking about boobies before you know it, folks.
Them
It will
boobies.
happen. All right, let's see. What do we got to do before we get out of here?
You named 6 things before the last commercial break.
I know, but are we really going to do them? Let's do
Great
a couple
question.
of emails. Here's Kathy talking about dog bites because we said this last year was the biggest year ever as far as the raise in dog bites on postal workers. Kathy says, got bit while delivering in Ocala. Delivered a package, turned around to go back to my vehicle, and the Dachshund. I always say that wrong. Wiener dog came from behind and bit the back of my leg. Never saw it coming. We had a meeting this morning about this. If there's a dog, do not deliver. Good. I'm glad they're doing that. Phil sends over the story about the Australian reporter getting shot with a rubber bullet. That's really making the rounds. MacPhee says, you guys should watch the Channel 5 Andrew Callahan interview of the Breaking Bad lady.
Don't tell us what to do, MacPhee.
I used to think she was a bitch, but I'm on her side now. The amount of BS she's had to put up with is absurd. It's a family house since 1973. It was her late mother that agreed to the production. I think she definitely enjoys being rude a little bit, but some of the people show up and they're real monsters. They're the problem, not her. Okay, fair. Thank you. Thank you for the email. Now that we've done those, let me get that out of the way. We can also do our final dispatches.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play.
Yes! That's why you send them, to see if you can make it across the finish line before the end of the show here. And, I never played this. I've got to share this with you.
Rude boy.
Hang on. Give me a sec here. I'm going to share this with you because I thought it was very, very sweet. Is this it? This is it right here. This is from Courtney.
You're Courtney?
Quartnee.
That's one way to spell it.
This is Micah. Micah, I believe, is her name. She's 8 years old.
These are the final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
There she
These are the
goes.
final dispatches, but Sean will probably only play one.
That's enough. What if I want more?
These are the final dispatches,
Okay, now it's enough.
but Sean
Now-
will probably only play one.
Thank you. And I like your Pokemon shirt. Very cool. Very cool. Still catching them all out there. Congratulations
What,
to you.
Try to be friends with her or something?
No. Kids are wary of me. They
What? Why is that?
Kids see me from a distance. I'm like,
You talk to them like they're 40.
I
Hey,
talk
how
to
are
everybody
ya?
the same. Hey, how you doing?
What are your thoughts about the LA protests?
No, I won't do that. No, I'll talk to them on their level. Like I'll talk to Courtney's
Ever try to
nephew,
White Claw?
and I'll talk to him, and he'll be like, for a while he was very much into elevators, and he's talking about elevators nonstop. And so I pop up and I be like, what's going on with the elevators? I love elevators.
Still going up and down.
Cool. I mean, I like elevators too. I'll tell you what, I get on them every once in a while. And you get on them, yeah.
How long
you
does
know
that
what I'm saying?
convo last?
It's a good 45 minutes, I think, of like top-notch stuff.
And
probably
then
that
you
we're
move
doing.
on to explaining to him why some of the 9/11 hijackers weren't such bad guys.
If they're cool, yeah. But I don't just open that conversation line with anybody. Not everybody's going to fully understand what's going on there. If you're just tuning in, I don't have time to explain. That's just
fine.
Yeah, listen to the
Sound down.
podcast.
All right,
Until it's deleted.
Here's Egg Ball with one of our final dispatches. Hello?
Sean.
Yeah.
Egg Ball.
News Junkie. The protesters are a mixed crowd of people. The majority are peaceful protesters, and they're mixed with government haters, undercover agents from the alphabets,
the FBI, CIA,
and troublemakers or
I like how he says
government
troublemakers.
agitators or whatever you want to call them.
It's a mixed crowd?
It's a mixed crowd.
Told you. I knew he was going to say that.
Like our
I knew
live
he was gonna
shows.
say that. Sport Johnston has one last dispatch for us.
What up, Junkie Butt?
Hey,
I'm not sure if that helicopter that was taunting those people was real or not. But if it is, whatever speaker he was on, they need to get that for Air Force One.
True.
So we can start hearing Trump whenever he's talking on a plane or a helicopter.
And another thing.
That audio
Thank
was
you.
perfect, and Trump sounds like crap, man. But
It's wild. I just don't understand how that's a thing still.
I guess I would complain more about courtroom audio as compared to that. If you could speak and taunt the protesters and the rioters from your police chopper,
Clear
and
as
we
day.
can't really hear people in a courtroom. I don't know, man. It seems like we could do better than this, but all right, there we are. That's
Do
going to have
better,
to do it for
everybody.
today.
And we're just
I'm
talking
not
to the
doing
audio people as far as helicopters.
Yeah, the rest of us are perfect.
No, myself too. I got to do better
Nobody's
myself.
perfect.
Yeah,
Hannah
yeah.
Montana.
Is that one of her songs? Nobody's perfect.
And I'm worth it. And again.
The sound's right. I don't know if you're telling the truth, but
I
it seems like a
swear.
legit jam. All right, let's get out of here. Here we go. Let's do Today I Learned.
The following information may make you feel smarter, but will not actually increase your IQ. So don't get cocky. Now it's time for what we call Today I Learned.
It is Today I Learned for a Tuesday, June 10th, 2025. That's right. Today I learned there was a concert for this gentleman right here.
That is Bruce Springsteen.
That's right. You're going to be springing steam out of your ears.
Okay,
Bruce
let's try that again.
Nah, it's going to have to work. Some people know the reference. One or two people will know the reference, and then it'll work. One, maybe. The 1988 East German government held Bruce Springsteen. They held a concert in order to keep the kids happy, to appease the youth, as they said. It backfired when he gave a speech in German about tearing down the barrier.
9.
It didn't work out like they
He
wanted
was
it to.
too smart for them.
On into USA.
How is it that Bruce Springsteen is hiding in plain sight from all of these people? It's like all of the people who are like, hold on, Born in the USA isn't a patriotic anthem?
And then now hit that clip again. And that's where they forget. As soon as that snare comes in.
I mean, like, yeah, well, he's crazy as hell, but it's not like, what?
That's
the guy
why.
gets him. Like, so the German government's like, this guy is just blue jeans and a guitar. Come on over. Yeah, he's kind of a political dude. He gets into that stuff.
Soviet place.
He likes to do it. All right, here we go. What else we got? Today I learned dolphins have bromances. Did you know that?
Gay.
Did you know that? In which two males may pair up for as long as 15 years.
I love they call it bromances and
Well-
call it exactly what it is.
It says two males may pair up for as long as 15 years and help each other hook up with females.
Homosexuals.
Well, but they're saying they help them hook up with females.
Okay, that's what the straight
It's like
person scientist
It's
said.
a wingman. It's like a wingman dolphin in this case, if this is true. And the
As long
findings
as
were
they don't
published
kiss.
in the National Academy of Sciences, which I think seems legit to me. I don't know about all the science and stuff, but here we go. And finally, today I learned this lady right here.
Music played
It's Sinatra.
Ah, that's
Nancy
right.
Sinatra.
Yes.
Nice.
Nancy Sinatra is indeed correct. Nancy Sinatra posed in Playboy magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't make it into the covers of Playboy till she was 54 years old.
Nice.
Ladies,
Full
age
bush?
ain't nothing but a number.
Thank you.
54. She posed naked for Playboy in the May 1995 issue, made appearances on TV shows to promote that at the time, and just put it all out there for the world. Thank you for hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Missed any of the show? Get the podcast at thenewsjunkie.com. Josh, thanks again, buddy.
Thanks,
You got
Josh.
There he is. Maybe he's here tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see. But one thing's for sure, we hope you are. See you tomorrow, everybody.